Good evening, sports fans. Good evening, race fans. Good evening, all the YouTube trolls out there online at the moment. Welcome to another broadcast here at Sensational TV, where the cars are virtual, but the racing is very real indeed. Tonight we're back for another serving of the AK Racing V8 Supercars Championship. We're at round 3, despite what it says on the thumbnail. Thank you to my graphics man for that one. We're at round 3 here at Portimao, the beautiful Algarve circuit here, which you might see featured on the F1 calendar. I know the MotoGP come here as well. It's an absolutely cracking circuit, full of undulation and long sweeping turns. You've got just about every type of turn you can imagine, possibly here at Portimao circuit. There's a fair bit of runoff, so this week, hopefully, we can we can get past the bit of rubbish that we had to deal with last week at Adelaide Street Circuit, where the walls are tighter than the proverbial at 6:30 p.m. We can't go into that. But, we had a fair bit of carnage last week there in Adelaide. So hopefully the drivers can pull their socks up and do a little bit better out there tonight. Good evening, Puck, in the chat. Good evening, Ronald Marshall, the race engineer, actually, for MBR, Marshall Brothers Racing. That is Harley and Jesse Marshall. So we got him in the chat. We got Rip-Off Stig. I'm pretty sure he's meant to be racing, so it's pretty good multitasking there from him, doing a bit of chat work and a bit of wheel work at the time being. I think these guys are just about finished here for free practice 1. It's been an hour, or a couple of hours actually, this has been open. So these guys just getting up to speed, getting their qualifying boots on, because it's not far now till we get some qualifying action. As I said, we are in round 3. Portimao, Eastern Creek and Adelaide are behind us now. Looking forward to the next event, which is the Bathurst 500 4-hour. Anyone at home that wants to get involved in that, if you're in a rival league, perhaps get that special livery put on the car. Get yourself 2 of your fastest drivers from that league and come and test your skills against the big boys here at AK Racing. That's sure to be an absolute cracker next fortnight. So keep your eyes peeled for any kind of announcements pertaining to that. But that is the practice serve absolutely done and won. So it's time to get into tonight's racing, and we'll give you an in-depth look at where we are racing from. Let's go racing. Absolutely pumped tonight for this one here at round 3. We're in Portugal for the Portimao. That is how you should say it. Algarve circuit here. It's 4.6 Ks of action and 15 turns coming at you fast. With a really fast qualifying session. Actually, it's a short one, 12 minutes. So it's absolutely cutthroat out there, with the first race being a super sprint of 14 lappers. Following that is the feature race of the evening, which is a 36-lap affair, with the top 12 being reversed from race 1, and there will be a mandatory compound change, I'm pretty sure, for that race. Daniel Cicluna, the Scuzzman, is back in the server, and he has been fastest during the week with a 142.371. So I tell you what, ladies and gents, I'm excited for this one. There's a fair bit more runoff than last time, so we shouldn't see as much carnage, but we're going to see some absolutely cracking racing. That is for sure. And these guys are now in the driver briefing as we speak. So it's time to check out some standings from round 3. From round 2, should I say. Let's bring them up on the screen at the moment. Here we go. Driver standings after round 2. That's Alex McEwen out on top with 305 points. Behind him is his teammate, who is unfortunately unwell and cannot make it to the race tonight. So he's going to be gapped now by Alex McEwen, whatever happens in this race. He's on 292 points. Matt Cotter breathing down both of their necks there on 279. Haven't seen much of Matt Cotter in the practice server, ladies and gents. So we'll see how he fares on what I suspect is minimal practice. But I think that's kind of his modus quo at the moment, is Matt Cotter just turning up and having a good old crack. Lachlan Grant there on fourth for Mobile One Racing on 240 points. Behind him, his old teammate and sparring partner Harley Marshall for MBR on 228. Scotty Garrick there for AC Karting on 222. R.I.P. Richie Benno. Dylan Barton there behind him for Not Right Racing. I haven't seen him in the server, so there's no Toto out there on track tonight. His teammate as well, Bernard Rusley, I have not sighted either. But you never know, they might turn up for qualifying, which is going to kick off soon. Brandon Pierce for Monster Energy Racing is on 192, actually tied with his teammate there, James Claypole for Monster Energy on 192. That's cracking stuff there. Those guys absolutely evenly paired. And that's in good stead for the Bathurst race coming up next time around. Fabian Fitness making out your top 10 for this evening. You can use your eyes there and read through the rest of them, because there's so many drivers here in the server. Here's from 21st down to 40th. That's Bill Kosmarikis down to Johnny Brown in 40th, the Dynamic Sim Sports. These guys all having another crack tonight. So hopefully they can move up the standings just a little bit further. Here's the third page. We have 3 pages of standings, ladies and gents. It's been a really popular series, this one, so far in the season. We're only 3 rounds in, and I think we've had a combined almost 70 drivers sign up for this series. On any given day, it's the first 58 that mark the attendance sheet that do get to drive and race. But being with the life getting in the way, we don't always get 58 every time. But what we do get is enough to make an absolute cracking load of kit here on AK Racing. Is there anything else I'm missing here? I think it's the team standings, ladies and gents. Let's have a look at that. And Project 4, as you can probably guess, are out in front, and by a fair margin too. That's 597 down to Send and Defend Motorsport there. Cotter and Fitness only 100 odd behind, 126 behind, with Monster Energy Racing, Claypole and Pierce there in the top 3. Marshall Brothers Racing fourth on 366. Pretty good shout for them. Those guys both in the server doing pretty well today as well. So they'll be looking to get their little bums up the order. Luke Newing in the chat says, keen for a Scuzz send tonight. Well, we might see that. We might see anything tonight, ladies and gents. Keep your eyes peeled. Scuzz doesn't mind a send. Luke Newing doesn't mind a send either, so we'll keep you refreshed on all the action here tonight. Chocolate Moose Racing is in 5th position on 281. I can't quite tell. It's a bit too small on my screen. Jay Fergo is certainly one of those guys. FUCM Racing with Senior Fergo and Marsden there on 280. So really tight between those two guys, 5th and 6th. Only 1 point in it. Rangiart number 1 is there on 263 with Not Right Racing, who are going to drop down the order if their drivers do not show up tonight. AC Karting entry coming in at 9th position with Mobile One Racing making out your top 10 teams tonight. It's all happening here, ladies and gents. Yodelay-hee-hoo. That's a Specky K special. Good to have you all in the chat and watching along with the action at home. It's definitely shaping up to be one of the seasons of all time. As you can say, of all the seasons I've seen of sim racing, this is certainly the most recent. But jokes aside, it is absolutely going to be a cracking race tonight. We're just waiting for the driver briefing to finish and the qualifying server to come up and us to be able to join it. I am Chris Munro, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not know me already, my partner in crime, Zach O'Reilly, is still off in the land of the Bintang, living the life of luxury out there in some sort of villa, living like a king. Hopefully watching the stream and sipping back on a couple of those cold bintangs as we speak. So we might get a bit of insight from him in the chat tonight. That would be good. I think my voice is holding up a bit better than last week as well, so we won't get as much gratuitous coughing on stream. But look, if you're a bit of a coughing person, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum out there. You got yourself a coughing, what do you call it? If coughing's your kink, ladies and gentlemen, you're in the right place. But you missed all of that last week, so this week I'm feeling a bit better, so you might not get as much of that. I'll tell you what you will get is more crap spilling out of my mouth, as per usual here on Sensational TV. And I think the guys are just getting the briefing wrapped up. So we're going to go to a quick break while I refill my drink and adjust my pants, because I tell you what, we're not far away now from a cutthroat bit of qualifying that is absolutely coming your way here on Sensational TV. So time to go and fill up your glasses, and we'll be back in just a moment with some hot stuff qualifying.
the fall. More the glory that you had and all the things that you'd ignore. I feel settled in the ways, up elated, shaded. I'm hearing things, you know, something happened long ago. Condescending, ridiculed, maybe we're the same. I know you feel a little parading in the status quo to fade. We're ready to go crazy after midnight. It's your birthday after midnight. See you on the short side. Go crazy.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting geared up now for green lights here in qualifying. As I said earlier, it's a cutthroat affair. It's 12 minutes, considering it's about a 2-minute outlap on cold tyres. They're not going to get many cracks at this tonight. These guys are going to have to be on the ball right from the get-go. So we're just waiting. We've got another 66 seconds to go before the pit lane is open. And who's that at the start of the queue? Let's just let's go for a little bit of a... Oh, no, we're going for 13 minutes. There we go. It looks like Brandon Pierce is your first man out on track. We'll get a good look at this car in the outlap. Looks like Stephen Marsden's behind him with Fitness, Grant Elliott, McEwen, Secluna, Pine, and then a shitload of other cars. Let's have just a quick gaze, a little quick gander at how many we've got in the server tonight, just for future reference. There's 40 cars. There's about 40 cars on the circuit tonight, ladies and gents. That is absolutely outrageous. But Brandon Pierce now is the first man out on track, and I tell you what, that is where you want to be, because you will have the advantage of all that clear track in front of you, especially on these big, wide-open GP circuits. The advantage of having a fair bit of clear track in front of you can really be the make or break for these guys. They're all out on super softs, except for Sean Mitchell. I think that's a little bit of a mistake there from him, because I tell you what, if you're qualifying on the hard tyre, you're not going to get far up that order. So Sean Mitchell, if you're listening, pull yourself into the pits, mate, and strap those super softs on, because that will definitely help you get up the order, especially the guys around you. Everyone else is on supers. That will... Look, it's happened to the best of us, actually. My mind casts back to round one a few seasons ago. I think it was Pukekohe. My first stint of qualifying was done on the softs, and I did not realise. Still ended up winning that round, but that's a story for another time, because here we go. It's the first time around Portimao for Brandon Pierce. We're going to ride on board down into turn one. That is Premiera, and a very tough turn indeed to get right, because if you step outside the boundaries of this track, you will be invalidated pretty much immediately. So here he gets it pulled into Lagos, which is turn 3, and this is a nice little turn up the hill, pretty much blind. You've just got to trust the front end and just tip it in and hope for the best on the other side. You want to really have a fair bit of aero, because the rear end of these cars does get fairly light over the top of that crest. Pulling it up there for Torre Veep, and up through turn 6 and down into turn 7, which is a nice little sweeping bend there. You don't want to get too close to that sausage curb, because I've seen a few guys get rolled over, actually. So that sausage is actually a lot bigger than it looks, which is what Zach O'Reilly always tells the ladies. Here we go, up the hill into Samsung turn. Gets Paramount to get that front turned in, and Brandon Pierce is just continuing his practice of being a little bit allergic to the apexes here. But up to turn 11, and dipping that into to 13. This is turn 13, and this is the final turn. This is very hard to get right, because it's a game of patience. You don't want to get on the throttle too heavy, because that arse end will kick out, and that will pretty much ruin your momentum down for this part here, which again is like a roller coaster. You go over that little hump, and you really got to hang on to the car. Try and keep it straight. Don't go too wide, because 3 wheels over that white line at the edge of the track will mean an invalidation. But this is a valid lap, and it's a 1:43. 1:43.9. Very handy stuff there from Brandon Pierce, but he's immediately eclipsed by Lachlan Grant, who goes about a couple of tenths quicker. And then again, Daniel Cicluna a couple of tenths quicker again in the Super 2 Sky Sands livery. That's fantastic. That was Tom. What's the guy now? He's a supercar driver now. I forget his name. Randall. I'm pretty sure that's Randall's livery from when he was in Super 2. But that's good stuff. Yeah, Luke Newing. I know the music's still on, mate. This is all part of the show. We are now following around with the leader, which is Daniel Cicluna. He's in car 97. So maybe a bit of a Van Gisbergen fan as well. 8 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, this is absolutely cutthroat stuff. There's no chance for a mistake. There's no retrieval of the mistake. Shawnee Mitchell's still out there on the softs. So if you can hear me, Shawnee, if his teammate is in the chat somewhere, just tell him to go and put those softer boots on. The super soft boots, you'll get yourself up the order, I'm sure. Daniel Cicluna goes purple in the second sector. This is certainly on for an improvement. There's an errant car around there. That was one of the tradie racing cars, who I tell you what, in practice were spending more time backwards than they were forwards. So they might get a talking to from the race director, indeed, if they can't keep their car on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, be reminded this is a pro league. So there is a certain standard to be held for the drivers out here. And I tell you what, if you can't keep your car on the track for at least like one lap, you're probably not going to stay around. These race directors do not mess around. And I tell you what, who doesn't mess around is Alex McEwen. He goes straight to the top with a 1:43.0. Still a fair way off these guys' personal best. They were deep into the 42s during the week. So I expect to see these times tumble a little bit more, but we're going to go back in the field and give Bill, the 10K man, Cosmo Rikas, a little bit of love there in the 17. True blue entry, FGX Falcon. One of the nicest guys in sim racing too. If you ever get to have a conversation with you, ever seen in the voice chat, jump in. You'll learn a lot about life. You learn a lot about love. You learn a lot about yourself. Bill Cosmarikas there coming down through the final sector. He is green in the first two, so he's on for a 1:48.2 at the moment, or he needs to beat a 1:48.2, that is. He crosses the line for a 1:47.8, and that puts him up into 23rd position. Actually, his best is a 1:47.4, so he's still got a little bit to go. And Banachek off the track at the moment. We'll tune into Alan Nielsen here in the number 59 Pertec Falcon. A throwback to yesteryear. Mr. I just had his name. Marcus Ambrose. One of my favourite V8 supercar drivers of all time. Very aggressive out there. Him and Greg Murphy having battles for the ages back in those days. On and off the track. He's got a fair bit of traffic in front of him, but I'll tell you what, that's what you have to deal with here, ladies and gentlemen. It's his. It's about finding a free bit of track, free bit of real estate where you can push the car to the limits. If you're stuck behind a couple of cars, it's almost worth just pulling off to the side, off the racing line, and using your track map, using your relative, and not using the right foot like that. Alan Nielsen, holy moly, he gets that back on the track safely. But that is not going to be an improvement on his lap time. So he lives to fight another day. Dean Hanley in practice was right up there in the top 10. So this guy's under pressure now. There's only 5 minutes to go in this session. So he's just got to put a lap together, and it looks like he's got a fair bit of clear air in front of him. So there's no excuses here from Dean Hanley. There is a Volvo, I think, in front of him, but that's probably far enough in front that it's not going to be too much of a drama for Dean. And as I said, we saw him in practice this week. He's up there for Rangiart Racing, and so he'll be certainly wanting to put down a banker lap at least. At the moment, he's on a 1:46.9, but that was invalidated, so his best time is a 1:47.1. I think he can do a lot better than that. I think we'll probably expect to see him in the 1:44s if he can put it all together, ladies and gents. He's 7/10s up on his personal best already. So riding on board with Dean Hanley for NGR Racing. Can he put it all together and get himself up into the top 10? His teammates up there. Pretty sure his teammate's Jason McFadden. So McFadden already up into the top 10, getting the gift from his cousin there, Brian McFadden. If anyone remembers who he is. Scott McEwen in the chat says the track map looks busier than a Kmart a Kmart car park at Christmas. You're not wrong about that. There are some little gaps to be had though out there on the track, and that's where the racing IQ of these drivers will really come into its own. There's no point flogging a dead horse if you've got too much traffic in front of you. But here goes Dean Hanley across the line now for a 1:45.2. That puts him up into the top 18, ladies and gentlemen. Geez, it's a competitive field here tonight. A 1:45 and you're still only just scraping the top 20. These guys absolutely mean business right now. We got, let's go back to Cohen Tam, another driver that we've seen up in the top 5 recently. He's pulling it in for a pit stop here, getting some new boots, some new bit of fuel there just to last him to the end and just push for one final stint here in qualifying. 3 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Rick Banachek now. He's just going off the track there. That's not ideal for an invalidated lap. Maybe this lap is his out lap, and he's already he's just getting himself in the mindset now to blast it up the main straight and try and get himself into the top 20. Here goes Alan Nielsen up into the top 17 now with the 1:45.5. Hayden Cook just goes in front of him with a 1:45 as well. You can see there's about 2 seconds covering the top 20. That's pretty tight if you ask me. That's a good racing up the front here in AK Racing's V8 Supercar Championship. I'll tell you what, Adam Betts is someone you'd expect to see up the front in the top 5 at least, but I tell you what, he is down in 27th position, and the last few times I've seen him out on track, he just looks out of sorts. Does not look like the Adam Betts that I know and love from racing against in times past. I'd almost be checking his GUID to see who's behind that account here in AK Racing. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, that nothing gets past the old dog here in the commentary box. Rick Banachek, however, is doing pretty well here. He's on for, let's see if I can check these sector times down here for Rick Banachek. I've got my little live timing screen. It was a 27.4 in the first sector, which is pretty good. He should move up the order here, but he's gone slower there in the second sector, so he's given some of that back. Clayton Pine has joined the front row, has joined Alex McEwen on the front row in the meantime with a 1:43.6. Brandon Pierce onto the second row with a 1:43.7. Actually, where's Daniel Cicluna? He must have left the server. We should probably make a rule about that. Leaving the server is not allowed. You must complete an in-lap and go to the pits if you wish to change tyres. Rick Banachek stays in 28th position with a 1:46.3. Ian O'Brien's behind him with 1:47.2. Can he sneak up a few positions here? He's the lonely Mercedes-Benz on the grid. Ian O'Brien, the only one in the championship winning car, the Mercedes AMG. Oh, what a beautiful V8 supercar that is, and it's such a shame to see only one participant getting behind the wheel of the German efficiency. And dead set, in my opinion, one of the fastest V8 supercars out there on the track. Mind you, they are all the same. They are under the body, under the shell, they all produce the same numbers here and there. The only differences are small, very minor, dimensional differences concerning what's it called? wheelbase length. Alex McEwen now, the qualifying has gone down to 0. This is the final lap for anyone that has not started a lap yet. Alex McEwen is on top at 1:43.0. I cannot find, I'm pretty sure Sculls has left the server and come back, so he'll be popping up the screen shortly once he re-enters the server, but it might be too late for him. But here goes Ian O'Brien now, blasting it down the final straight. Can he improve on a 1:47.2? He does not, and just by a tenth. Clayton Pine is up there in 5th position. Daniel Cicluna still on an outlap. Can he knock Alex McEwen off? He's gone purple in the second sector now, ladies and gentlemen. He's up there for turn 13. He's almost at the end of his lap here, ladies and gents. We're going to see what kind of a position he can put himself into after this final sector. Getting the turn in there on the FGX Falcon. That's good stuff from Daniel Cicluna. Just needs to put this together, and I think he might just pinch pole position off Alex McEwen. Oh, gets a little bit sideways down there into turn 15, or Galp turn as they call it. Can he blast that FGX Falcon up onto the top position? What's he going to stop the clock at? It's a 143 flat. Oh, he beats him by 300s. Geez, that's tight there at the top. Holy moly. Daniel Cicluna securing his first pole position in this series so far. Brandon Pierce is the next man out on track. Can he improve? He's just going past the start-finish line now. It doesn't look like he's going to improve. He does not. So the next man out, who's still on a hot lap, is Hayden Cook. He's on a 145.5 is his best. So he must have been one of the last ones to cross the line. So he's still on a hot lap. See the flames spitting out the side of that Rangy Art Volvo there, the number 7 of the chef, the Cook. Can he get something hot out of the oven here and just place it into maybe the top 10 of the qualifying stakes? Coming around the final part of this circuit now. Actually, no, he's down into turn 11. Maybe 13, going up the hill. This is a very confusing track for me, ladies and gentlemen, but I will get it right by the end. I have raced here before. It's a cracking circuit. This is Samsung, I believe. No, he's called it quits, ladies and gentlemen. That's all she wrote here for qualifying. No valid quali lap is crazy. So rip-off Stig couldn't get a valid lap in. Maybe a bit more practice is required during the week. Just to keep in mind, these guys do hundreds of laps practice, like at least 300. If you're in the top 10 and you want to get anywhere near there, I suggest about 300 laps is the going rate. But Daniel Cicluna has topped the timing sheets here in quali with a 143 dead. Right behind him is Alex McEwen with a 143 dead. 2/10 behind is Lachlan Grant with James Claypole right behind him as well. Clayton Pine in the top 5. Good to see him up there. Can he keep it on the track this time? He's certainly stamped his claim on being very fast over a one-lap spread, but can he convert that to a stint in on the softs? We'll see how that goes. Stephen Marsden, a wily old character there in 6th position. He'll be looking to go forward, as well as Brandon Pierce. Andrew Ferguson there in the top 8 with Scott Garrick and Matt Cotter making out your top 10. Ladies and gents, this, as you can see, how tight. Yeah, about 30 or 40 laps. You're going to need to times that by about 10, rip-off Stig, if you want to, I guess, just keep the car on the track. A bit more practice is required here. It is a pro league. I will remind everyone at home, this is not for the faint-hearted. This is not for the casual racer. I mean, you can be casual about it, but I certainly don't suggest it, as you'll spend more time off the track than you do on it, and there's nothing fun about that. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we are now looking ahead to race 1. It's a 14-lapper. I'm pretty sure it's a no pit required. I'm just going to double check the info here in my little info sheet. The first race is a 14 lap. The mandatory tyre will be the soft compound, and there is no mandatory pit. But that doesn't mean you can't pit. It just means you don't have to. But 14 laps of racing are coming up. Yeah, we've got Drav in the comments. Wise words never been spoken there. V8s are no joke and definitely need to treat them with respect. Yeah, the more practice you do, the better for everyone involved. Not just your own race, but for other races around you. You know, a lot of these guys spend a lot of time practicing, and you don't want to be that guy that just wrecks everyone's race because you can't keep it on the circuit. But that's a thing for another time, ladies and gents. And you know what? It is time for the annual, or I guess the nightly refill. So go and do that. Go and refill your drinks, whatever you're drinking, whether it be kombucha, whether it be red wine, or you're just on the straight whiskies straight out of the bottle like Travelme loves to do. We're going to be back in just a short minute for race 1. I'll take that every day of the week. It is never too early for a gin and tonic. Thank you, Punctilious. All the music you hear on the channel are local bands from my area here in southeast Queensland. So if you like what you hear of any of these guys, you'll be able to search them up on Spotify or their YouTube or Instagram, whatever they do, the TikToks. Get involved, follow your local music, because all of your favourite bands now all started out as a small time local band at one point. So it's worth getting in on the bottom floor on some of these guys. Big careers ahead of them. But we've got about 1 minute to go before lights out, and look at this field, ladies and gents. We're just going to have a little bit of a hover over, if we can. Look at how far they go back here, ladies and gents. Look at all these cars. Look at all these V8 supercars. There's ZB Commodores, there's Falcons, there's Volvos, there's one Mercedes. There's a Nissan Altima in there too. I saw him on the way through. There he is. There's Mustangs. There's all the good stuff. We're 30 seconds away from a start, ladies and gents. And it's time to get serious, because who is going to take out race 1 here get your predictions in, and you'll go on the list of people we owe a prize pack to. You can pick the top 3 in order. Whether or not we ever get merch to satisfy that deal, that is another story. But we've got lights on. I can hear the revs are up. The excitement is up. I'll tell you what, I'm up too, because we are away and racing, and Daniel Cicluna actually got a bit of a tardy start. It looks as if Alex McEwen might just try and head him off, but I'll tell you what, look at that. Scuzz did get really good drive out of the second phase of that start, and there goes Brandon Pierce just pushing up the inside of Lockie Grant. That's, there's a bit of carnage. There's cars going off all over the place back there, but luckily there's a fair bit of runoff. There's Stephen Marsden just in the middle of our picture there, going on the outside, trying to navigate these cars as they turn up through turn 4 side by side. A little bit of a touch there between Marsden, Ferguson and Brandon Pierce as well. Coming down to the hairpin here. This could be interesting. We're just going to park the cam here and see what happens. Keep these guys honest. There's a bit of a bomb dive by one of the Mustangs. He gets through there and gets it pulled up really nicely. That's good stuff. Everyone in the field getting through this first part of this first lap nice and cleanly. Oh, there's a bit of a lock up there, but he manages to gather it up. And the cars are still streaming through, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him go. I've just got to get back to the front because it's all happening here. It looks like James Claypole is on the back of Lachlan Grant. Here's a little battle here down from 10th position. Matthew Cotter getting up the inside of Brandon Pierce, and he's got Jason McFadden all over the back of him as well. This is going to be absolutely cracking stuff here for racing, because there's so many different lines you can take around some of these turns. It makes the real ones look kind of poor in numbers, says Scott McEwen. Yeah, that's right. If we could get a few of the real-life teams involved in sim racing, maybe they could poach a few of these drivers and have it run a third car for most of those teams, and maybe fill up the grid there on the V8 Supercars circuit. But Adam Betts has made up a fair few positions here in the first lap. He's got Chris Eckert in his sights. Huss Badge behind him, one of the new guys in the server, driving the Bottle Racing Mustang. Try and get a decent view. Pardon the track cameras here, ladies and gents. They're all a bit, they're either too far or too close to the track. Here's the teammates battling it out. Marsden and Ferguson side by side up through turn 4. Whoa, giving each other plenty of room. Nice to see. Yeah, you don't want to go knocking out your teammate here in the early stages. There's the battle for the lead is on here. Alex McEwen has got up behind Daniel Cicluna. It's his first race this season is Daniel Cicluna. He's cherry ripe for this event as well. He's missed the first 2 rounds, but he's come back with a bang here and is leading the race with Alex McEwen in tow. Lockie Grant making up the top 3. Fantastic stuff. But look at this. In this second sector, it looks like that Falcon has just got the advantage over the VF Commodore of Alex McEwen. Just stretching that gap out to about 6/10 at the moment. So perhaps these guys may be just starting to think about the tyres, because this circuit certainly is a tyre killer. There's a lot of high-speed, long radius turns where you're leaning on the tyres, and that certainly heats them up and wears them out a bit quicker. So you'll see the smarter drivers using a little bit of tyre conservation to get them through to the end of this race. It's only 14 laps, but it's a 1 minute 40 something around here. I'm not too sure. We'll see once they go past the start-finish line, what kind of race pace these guys are doing. It's a 1:45.5 from Daniel Cicluna. Alex McEwen was faster by a tenth there, a 1:45.4. Little battle happening down here with Hayden Cook and Adam Betts going side by side down into turn 1. Can he pull it up? Hayden Cook just gets on the brakes. Adam Betts looking for a bit of a switchback here. Gets the job done. So that is stations as they were. Hayden Cook just going a little bit too wide and a bit deep under brakes there into turn 1, and left the door open for the switchback. And Adam Betts says, "Thank you very much. I will have that switchback." Absolutely. Thank you very much. As they come down into, there's a bit of a lock-up there from one of the cars. That must be Caleb O'Connor in the Nissan. Yep. So Rick Zach has taken his drive through. He must have gone off the start. Maybe a bit of a false start there from Rick Zach. But he's taken his drive through as well. Looking back through the field now, the closest battle on track is this one. Nathan Hughes and Matthew Cotter. You see Matt Cotter, I don't know where he started. I didn't actually see him in the qualifying at all. So he must be, as I said, a bit underdone for this race, or he got held up in the qualifying session. It's there's a fair few cars out on track, as we've said 1,000 times already. Lee Tricklebank just getting out of the way of his teammate, and those two guys touch. That's Matt Cotter and Nathan Hughes. They come together. It looks like Matthew Cotter is off the track, but they both get on safely. Hopefully, there's a couple of cars coming there. That's O'Connor. But he's got back on the field safely, on the track, should I say. Matthew Cotter will not be happy with that. I didn't get to... Oh, gosh. I don't think it was anyone's fault. It was just a couple of cars going for the same bit of real estate. Cooper Walters getting DSQ for a disconnection issue there. So Matthew Cotter just sliding up the inside of O'Connor of the Nissan, and both giving each other plenty of space. That's how we do it here, ladies and gents. He goes through, and look at this, sticking it fat around the outside is O'Connor, but it has to yield because Matt Cotter just had the better line there going through turn 3, and he will chuffle off up the street looking towards Stephen Marsden there. But look, there's been a bit of an issue here with Lachlan Grant. He was sitting third just a moment ago, and he's dropped down about 3 positions here behind Garrick Pine and Claypole. So he must have found himself a little bit of a mischief there on that lap that we've just gone through. But I'll tell you what, now these guys are nose to tail, and he probably wants to get those positions back as quickly as he can. Holy boy, look at these guys going at it here into the turn 8. That is Samsung turn, I believe. Down into turn 13 now, as these guys are braking uphill. Means you can get on the brakes just a little bit later, because you've got the natural momentum of the car being halted going up that hill. Clayton Pine dropping down the order. Or is this my timing tower doing funny things? It does that from time to time, ladies and gents. The timing tower does freak out. O'Connor and Betts swapping positions down here in 12th and 13th position. O'Connor has the inside line, so he's going to have the best of that at the moment. Oh, there's a car off the street. Who is that? I think that's a lapped car in the ZB Commodore, the Boost race, and that might be Jimmy Park, actually. Or at least him or his teammate. All happening here, ladies and gents. It's only 5 laps into the 14-lapper, and I'll tell you what, the tyres are going to start to be screaming. What has happened to Harley Marshall? He's down in 22nd position. He was up there as one of the quickest in practice. I think he might have been another victim of the busy qualifying session and just not getting a representative lap time down before the timer ran out. So he's battling his way through the pack here, and gets his man there in Badge. Just slides up the inside of him, and now lies forward to Chris Eckert, young Ferguson Fitness. Fabian Fitness down here in 17th. I'll tell you what, this short qualifying session did throw the cat amongst the proverbial pigeons here at Portimao, because you've got a lot of these quicker drivers have found themselves out of position down here. Jay Ferguson is another one. These guys are going to try and work together to carve through this field, and maybe leave the battling rubbish to later on in the race when they've got a bit of clear air and a few more positions in the bag. I'll tell you what, if they sort of waste their time squabbling here, they're not going to make their way up the field at all. It is a top 12. The top 12 will be starting off the reverse grid, mind you, for the second race. So at the moment, that is Caleb O'Connor sitting there in pole position. We'll see how Dean Hanley's faring as well. He was one of the ones who was faster in practice. Did not quite get a cracking qualifying time in, and he's found himself down in 25th position. He hasn't got too many cars around him, so having a little bit of a lonely race here. Harley Marshall and Chris Eckert now battling it out. A couple of Commodores, a couple of black and yellow Commodores, mind you. The old versus the newer model, let's say, the VF versus the ZB. But Chris Eckert just getting a good run off the final turn there, turn 15. So he'll live to fight at least another lap. There's a bit of a battle there going on ahead with Fitness and Ferguson. Side by side now, coming into turn 3. Ferguson on the inside, Fitness on the outside, just missing that sausage curve. And look at the drive from the Volvo, but he's not going to be able to hang it fat around there. Here goes Chris Eckert off the track. Oh, Marshall and Eckert must have come together as well. It's all happening here, but Harley Marshall now takes 20th position off him, and Eckert will have to just get himself gathered up and back onto the track. Gee whiz, it's all happening. Fabian Fitness and Jack Ferguson still battling it out. Ferguson now having the better of it. But they are down in 19th and 18th position, respectively. So, boys, they need to sort it out. Oh, Fitness off the track. He has absolutely gone wide there. That's going to cost him a track cut. And you only get 5 of those before you get a little scenic trip down the pit lane. Hayden Cook and Betts, and there's actually 4 cars here, nose to tail. That's Betts, Cook, McFadden, and Guy Duff. All nose to tail here. We're going to ride on board with Duff. That's actually not Duff. That's McFadden as the last man in that little train. 2 Rangiat cars. Looking up the inside of his teammate there. That's very dangerous stuff. You don't want to clip the arse end of your teammate at the best of times, but that turn there, that turns you around and really slows you down for this run down to the final turn. That's Hayden Cook going right off the track there. That's another track cut for him, if he doesn't slow down, that is, which he doesn't, so it looks like he will just take that. Huss Badge has been given a drive-through already for cutting the track. That's going to hurt him in the grand scheme of things. He will drop down the order. But here goes McFadden looking up the inside of Cook. Cook, McFadden, Cook. Who is going to yield first? There goes McFadden up into that position. Thank you very much, he says. Hayden Cook will have to live to fight another day. Betts and O'Connor are trading positions as well. O'Connor now in front of Adam Betts. Tell you what, Betts is a wily old customer, or a wily young customer, should I say. Only about 18 years of age. He slides down into turn, what do we call it? Torre VIP. And he'll come out in 12th position now. But I'll tell you what, the battle's not over. Here's Caleb O'Connor. He's, look at that. Just Adam Betts just cutting across the nose there, telling Caleb O'Connor where he is. And, oh no, he might have just copped a little bit of a tap there from McFadden. No slowing down from McFadden either, so maybe just an unforced error there from O'Connor. And here comes the brigade of coughing that may ensue for the rest of this evening. So those guys that's got that kink, get ready, here we go. We've got a bit of correspondence there from the MBR race engineer. Car 77 did get caught up in a bit of traffic in qualifying. I thought so. I don't think he's the only one, to be fair. I think a lot of these guys were not quite ready for what was happening. Puck says, can we show Cooper Nathan on the screen? We'll try. Let's have a look for him in the timing tower. He's certainly not in the top 25, so I'm going to have to go searching. And I can only search one at a time. He's not in 26th position. Bink Adams is down there in 27th. I don't think I saw him qualifying either, so he's a newbie to the race server, but he is certainly one of the quicker drivers out there. We'll see him in Wednesday Cup, and we will certainly see him climbing up the ranks. Actually, we're going to hold on board with him now because him and Paul McKenzie are having a nice little battle here. 6 laps to go in the race. They want to try and get up there in the top 20, these two. Both battling hard, but Bink Adams is making up that ground. P17. Oh, there we go. Cooper Nathan's P16. Thank you very much. Here he is, about to get passed by these two guys, Duff and Ferguson, both coming up the back of Cooper Nathan at the moment. So this will be a nice little battle. Cooper Nathan in the, it's like the Penrite colours, but with the full throttle insignia on the side. Very nice looking livery indeed. He's got the little Aussie flag there, 100% Australian owned. It's good to see. Very nice looking livery indeed. And as we can see, there's Junior Fergo there in the background. Oh, here he comes. Looks for a little bit of a dive there and gets the job done. Maybe a little switchback is on here for Nathan. And it is. These guys are going to go side by side down into turn 13. Oh, geez, that's right on the limit of grip is that Volvo. And I'll tell you what, he's getting a fair bit of a hurry up here from Cooper Nathan as well. We're going to ride on board with him now, see if he can just get this last slingshot around the final turn and make some headway up the main straight. But look at the grip that Ferguson had there. Really just gapped him in that last sector, or the last bit of that last turn there. 5/10 of the difference now between these two guys. We will keep an eye on them, because Nathan Hughes and Cook have now just swapped positions as well. I think Nathan Hughes might have made a little bit of a mistake there. There goes Cook off the track. These two guys, that might be, I think that is a redress, ladies and gents. It looks like it. Either that or was another big mistake there from Cook. Side by side down into the braking zone of Torre VIP. Looks like Hughes has gone deep. He has. He's gone. Thank you very much. There goes Cook. There goes Ferguson. Guy Duff. And looks like Cooper Nathan's come a gutser as well down the bottom of the hill. He will drop down to 22nd position. Heartbreaking for Cooper Nathan. The battle for the lead, however, is starting to spice up now in the last 5 laps of this race. Alex McEwen just biding his time, probably just taking notes on how Scuzz drives this car and where he is strong and where he is weak. And Alex will probably have it all in his little black book by now mentally, where he can make the move. And look at this, he's got the great run down the back straight, but the straight line pace of that FGX Falcon is immense. Yeah, I don't think he's running very much wing there as well. Oh, there's a drive-through cutting for Stephen Marsden. That's heartbreaking for the FUCM racing team. Those guys are up there in the championship, and I'll tell you what, when the field is bunched like that, it's quite a long pit lane. Going to feel like forever for him to get through that. But here is Alex McEwen searching for a way through on Daniel Cicluna. I think there's a fair bit of wing difference here in the aero packages. Oh, look at that. Scuzz just going a little bit wide on the exit. That invites Alex McEwen up beside him. Now turning into turn 5 and 6. And 6 and 7, should I say, down through this little sweeper. You don't want to hit that sausage curve on the inside. Look at the switchback here from Alex McEwen. Dives up the inside. That's a great move. Can he get it stuck? He's now on the better side of the road. There's a little bit of contact between the two drivers. He now has the outside for this next turn. Has to yield for Scuzz, but Scuzz goes wide and Alex looks for the crossover. It's not going to happen again, but a double crossover. Shoots up the inside here of Samsung turn. Scuzz goes off the track just momentarily, but we'll still have the inside line, but it looks like Alex has a fair bit of momentum to stick it around the outside. There's nowhere to go here. This short radius turn is not going to be enough to get that job done for Alex McEwen. So these guys are absolutely giving it their all here. We're going to get a little bit of a top-down view as they go side by side. Alex has great momentum and great grip. Look at how steady that car is. Look at that. Alex McEwen is the new race leader, ladies and gentlemen. He will now try and put as much of a gap that he can on Daniel Cicluna. You can see the rear tyres, I think, of Cicluna just starting to give up, and I think that is pretty much because of the lower aero. He's got a bit less rear grip, and around that final couple of turns, that downforce really comes into its own. As you can see that those pictures that we brought you there from the sensational blimp, or the sensational drone, should we say. You could see that Alex's car was much more planted in that final turn than Cicluna's. So there you go. Alex McEwen now released, and he's already put a second on Daniel Cicluna there for the win of this race. Brandon Pierce is up behind Clayton Pine. This is a pretty good effort here from Clayton Pine. We've seen him in one lap pace. I keep saying the same old things, but he's getting his race pace sorted out, and it's a pretty hot pace today. He's up there in the battle of his life here for 6th position. Just takes it a little bit wide, and that invites Brandon Pierce up the inside. But the FGX just doesn't have enough horsepower to pull alongside of the Commodore for now. Hits that apex nicely, and Clayton Pine goes very deep on the exit of that turn. That's going to cost him, I think, another track cut. It's not quite it's not technically a track cut, but you've got to stay inside the lines of this track. Otherwise, the real penalty system that we have running the app in the background will just consider it a track cut if you go outside the line. So it's within your best interest to do so. We'll keep it inside the lines, should we say. But this is the closest battle on track we can see at the moment. That is got Brandon Pierce. We're going to ride on board with him here. He's got the number 9 of Clayton Pine in his sights, and he's only got another 3 laps to either get the job done or get or get stuffed there back there at 7th position. Lee Tricklebank cops a drive through for cutting as well. This is a high attrition rate, ladies and gents, for the cuts tonight. I'll tell you what, these guys are going to calm it down and just keep it inside the lines, and that will be a testament to getting yourself up the order here at AK Racing's round 3 here at Portimao, breaking it around the 100 and just outside the 100-metre mark. Oh, Brandon Pearce copped that sausage curb and is thrown off onto the exit there of turn 1. That's not ideal for him. That's given himself it's given Clayton Pine a fair bit of breathing room now, 1.5 seconds to be exact. And he'll take that. There's only 2 laps to go. I reckon that might be just the pivotal mistake from Brandon Pearce that might see him stuck there in 7th position for the rest of this race. And in the meantime, Alex McKeown has gapped Cicluna even further. That gap is up to 1.5 seconds, with gap to James Claypole putting himself in 3rd position. Great drive there so far from him. Fantastic. And Scotty Garrick, this will be, he's on track to have his best result so far of the season there for AC Karting there in 4th. That's absolutely cracking stuff from him. Fergo there in the top 5. We've not seen much of him tonight. He had a little bit of a battle with his teammate earlier. Speaking of battles, here's Junior Ferguson now on the back of Caleb O'Connor. The Volvo and the Nissan side by side. Tell you what, we're missing our Mr. Rabs in the commentary box. My Rabs impressions is very shit, to be fair. So we'll get to see you later, Mr. Rabs. Get out of here. That is absolutely garbage. My God. Junior Ferguson gets in front of Caleb O'Connor in the meantime, and he's off. There's a little three-way battle here. Look at that. It's Hughes, Cook, and O'Connor goes wide. That'll see him lose a couple of positions there. He's now side by side with Nathan Hughes. Nathan Hughes just sweeps around the front there in turn 14. Oh, boy. That's a big mistake there from Caleb O'Connor, because these guys are all knocking on the door of that top 12, looking for the pole position here. As I said, whoever gets 12th, and at the moment it's Adam Betts. So I tell you what, he'll be one to watch in the next round if he can absolutely hold on to 12th position here and stay off pole. He'll be a formidable force in the next race. Clayton Pine now on the back of Andrew Ferguson. Geez, he's making up some ground late in the race, is Clayton Pine. He's been released from the pressure of Brandon Pearce, and now he can look forward and sort of line up his next victim, as it were. But he's only got 1 lap to do it left, or 1.5 laps to go. It's going to be a tough ask, but I'll tell you what, look at that gap is coming down and down. These guys, it's all been about tyre management now at the end of this race. Whose tyres are going to last the longest and who has lasted the longest. Look at that. Clayton Pine looking around the outside now. Andrew Ferguson trying to battle him off on the inside, but I think the tyre wear is just too much on that Volvo to do much about it. Look at that. These guys are going to battle it all the way to the line for the final time around. Alex McKeown just 2/10 slower than Daniel Cicluna on that last time around. We're going to ride on board with Clayton Pine and see if he can make any headway towards Andrew Ferguson. There's only half a second in it, 5/10 to be exact. Brandon Schmerl and Caleb O'Connor now battling it out. Looks like Caleb O'Connor's going slowly here. He might have a bit of a problem. Caleb O'Connor travelling very slowly. He's trying to nurse that car around to the pits. Doing a good job so far as well. Boy, oh boy, but back to this battle here. It's Clayton Pine and Andrew Ferguson. He's going to look for the little dive up the inside here, maybe at the hairpin. Andrew covers him off, goes on the inside line. Clayton Pine looking for that late apex and the slingshot up the hill, and he gets that done. Look at this. There's a little bit of an overlap, or at least there was, going into turn 7 and 8. Oh, boy. Oh, just missing that sausage curve. Andrew Ferguson's making this car as wide as humanly possible right now, and he's only got to do one more lap to hang on to this fifth position, top 5. Clayton Pine doing everything he can to take it off him. heading up to the hill. Look at this. Clayton Pine's got grip for days. Goes for the little send around the outside, but he's gone a bit too wide there and off the track onto the green stuff, and that will probably be enough for Andrew Ferguson to hold on to 5th position. Where is our race leader? He's coming around the final couple of turns now. Alex McEwen just was patient in that drive there, just sat behind Daniel Cicluna for as long as he needed to and just picked him off at the most opportune time. And there is your race 1 winner, ladies and gentlemen. Alex McEwen in the number 43 takes the win of race 2 with Daniel Cicluna coming in second, and a great drive from him anyway to hold on that to that lead for so long. James Claypole gets I think that's another podium this year. He is absolutely on fire, ladies and gents. James Claypole, the one to watch. Scotty Garrick with his best result so far of the season for AC Karting. Andrew Ferguson did hold on for 5th in the end. Does us a bit of drift work as well. Very classy stuff there from a very classy gentleman. Clayton Pine will have to settle for 6th after giving it all to the back of Andrew Ferguson's car. Pearso finishes in 7th position. What could have been for a couple of little mistakes there late in that race. Lachlan Grant has to settle for 8th. He started up, I think, off the second row. So he'll hope for a bit of a better run out for the next time. It looks like he's on the soft tyre, but I guess it's not working for the ZBs. There's Matt Cotter there in 9th position. Stephen Marsden makes out your top 10. Jason McFadden in 11th with Adam Betts. Starting off pole for the next race, mind you. He started down the back. That was a great drive from him. Junior Ferguson there in the 847. Coming in 13th. Nathan Hughes in 14th. Cook in 15th. Schmerl in 16th. Fitness in 17th. Eckert in 18th. Elliott in 19th for NGR Racing. Harley Marshall there for MBR, finishing in the top 20 in the end. Guy Duff, the Duffster, the Duffman, 21st. Cooper Nathan having a bit of bad luck there. And 23rd for Dean Hanley. 4th for Badge. Oh, Jesus. Penalties coming in thick and fast on the screen. Bill the 10K man crosses the line in 25th position with Ian O'Brien there in the Lonely Mercedes in 26th. Shawnee Mitchell in the Meals on Wheels Falcon in 27th. Tony DeLuca 28th. Down the order there with Rick Zack joining him, and Bink Adams can do better than that. I'm sure of it. Here comes Clayton Waters in 31st with Jesse Marshall for MBR. A bit of a bad result there for MBR Racing, or MB Racing, should I say. Paul McKenzie in 34th. Cohen Tam 35th. Ryan Nielsen in 36th with Brent Cook back there in the in a white car. Why is it white? Pinkney there in 38th. Tricklebank in 39th. John O'Brown in 40th, and that makes up your field for race 1. That was 40 cars out on track. Holy, catch your breath, ladies and gents. We've got Nick Mello in the chat. If you give me an extra 10 minutes, I'll give you a good show from the back in race 2. He's trying to make deals with us here in the commentary box. Luckily, I'm not the one running the server tonight. I'm just calling the action, so you'll have to put your deal into, I think Maffey's the one with his button on the server. There's a fair few guys getting DSQ'd at the end of this race. I'm hoping that does not have an effect on the second race of the evening, but I guess we'll find out soon. Look at this from Ferguson. Great stuff. Line locker down the pit lane. Something you cannot do in the real world. I'll give you the hot tip. Bloody MA will be all over you for that. But very nicely done from Ferguson. See if we can catch up to him. He's had enough. There you go, ladies and gents. That is race 1 done and won and run. We're going to be back in just a short minute with race 2, which is a top 12 reverse grid and a 36 lapper. So a fair bit of strategy coming into play for race 2. So don't go anywhere. Hold on to your socks. Hold on to your bloody bags. I don't know why I said that, but we'll be back very shortly.
I got better things to do than waste my time on you. I got better things to do than waste my time on you. I could wash the car, or I could go for a drink at the bar. You know, I could mow the lawn, or I could search the net for porn, because I got better things to do. I got better things to do. I got better things to do than waste my time on you. I could read a book. I could teach myself to cook. You know, I could shine my shoes, or I could catch up on the news. You know, I could iron my shirts. Oh yeah, well now that's gotta hurt. You know, I could paint my room, but leaving you can't come too soon, because I got better things to do. I got better things to do. I got better things to do than waste my time on you. I used to think we were fine. Now I know I was wasting my time. I used to think we were fine. Now I know I was wasting my time. Yeah, I used to think we were fine. Now I know I was wasting my time. I used to think we were fine. Now I know I was wasting my time. I got better things to do. I got better things to do. I got better things to do than waste my time on you. I got better things to do. I got better things to do. I got better things to do than waste my time on you.
This is the end of time, but I don't mind. I guess I wasted all this life, but I feel fine, despite insufficient love that leaves me blind. You know there's still a ways to go, but I feel tired. You won, I won, we wanted everything, but we got nothing. So don't forget to celebrate on. Get high, pretend everything will be okay. Get high, pretend everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. You know it's sad the way things go, but you might find that you'll be the last to know. You don't know everything, and despite the ways you've grown through all your trials, you've got to see that this is how it ends. You won, I won, we wanted everything, but we got nothing.
Gentlemen and ladies, we are back. Sorry about the little delay, but we're testing out a new real penalty system for this round. And as you saw on your screens at the end of that race, there was a fair few cars getting disqualified. But I think we have found the issue for that. And if everything is okay, Cotter should be starting third on the grid, and he is, fourth. There he is. Okay, so the disqualifications did not matter for the starting lineup here, which is off the front row. It is Adam Betts and Jason McFadden, with Stephen Marsden and Matt Cotter joining them behind, with Grant and Pearce off the third row, and Pine and Ferguson off the fourth, Garrick and Claypole off the fifth row, Daniel Cicluna and Alex McEwen starting off the sixth row there after coming first and second in the first race. Jack Ferguson just missing out on the top 12. On the top 12, should I say, excuse me. Nathan Hughes, Cook, Schmel, Eckert, Fitness, Andre Elliott in 19th, Harley Marshall, Guy Duff, Nathan Hanley, Badge, Cosmo Rikas, O'Brien, Shawnee Mitchell, Tony DeLuca, Rick Zach. We've got a fair few cars out here today. Adams, Waters, Marshall, O'Connor, McKenzie, Tam, Nielsen, Cook, Pinkley, Trickleback. Good luck to these guys down the back. It's Johnny Brown, Cooper Walters, Rick Banachek, Alan Nielsen, our one of our Patreon subscribers here, ladies and gents. And Tommy Bodicum and Reynolds starting from the back. There we go, ladies and gents. We're about on track. We've got 30 seconds to go before lights out. And I'll tell you what, get your predictions in, because these are hard to predict. Hard to predict, ladies and gentlemen, with the peanut gallery going off in the background. But I'll tell you what, it'd be hard to go past Alex McEwen and Daniel Cicluna. Those guys had a fair bit of pace all throughout that last race. So watch for those guys carving their way through. I think Nick Mello might have even joined the server very late. But we're going to find out in just a moment, because the lights are out and Betts did not get the greatest start of all. There goes Jason McFadden up into the lead. Stephen Marsden getting a good little look here into the first turn. They're going to try and go three wide here into turn one. That's not the greatest of ideas. That's Pearce or Claypole there poking his little nose up. That's Pearce, should I say. Grant getting in all sorts of trouble backwards and forwards there, sliding around. Here comes Claypole very late onto the scene and hits Ferguson, who in turn hits Clayton Pine. And I think Mr. Claypole is going to have to redress that position. That was all his fault there. He just sort of skittled the cars in front. But look at him. Look at the pace of him now. He's really flying. But I think the race control is probably going to have to pull him up and make him go back behind Andrew Ferguson, should I say. In the meantime, Jason McFadden still leads this race with Marsden in second. Cotter up into third. Brandon Pearce, James Claypole, Lachlan Grant, Adam Betts, Clayton Pine, Daniel Cicluna and McEwen are now the ones on screen who are still battling it out. It's just a continuation on from the last lap of that, or the last race, should I say. Andrew Ferguson there in 10th after copping a little bit of a bump from behind. Junior Ferguson, his young fella, is just behind him, getting overtaken by Scotty Garrick, just shooting up the inside there. Great move and opportunistic there from him. Fabian Fitness in the Monster Energy Falcon, just trying to follow Junior Ferguson through on Scotty Garrick. Can we get a better view here? These track cameras are absolutely woeful. There we go, better view of the action. Looking down the field, here's Dean Hanley and Cohen Tam together with Nathan and Banachek in close tow. All happening here. We'll check out Banachek. He's got Jesse Marshall up his inside, as well as I think that's Ryan Nielsen, should I say. And look who it is. Nick Mello is in the server, and he's sitting there in 28th position. So we're going to just ride on board with him. He gets that position there of Rick Banachek. They're going to go side by side down the main straight. There's a little battle for the lead. It's actually Marsden who's taken over from Jason McFadden. While we were just watching down the back, Here goes Jason McFadden. He's got Pierce behind him. Lockie Grant as well being given the hurry up big time here by Clayton Pine. We'll look on top here. Can Clayton Pine just slide up down the inside? He does have an absolute crack. These guys are all on different tyres. There goes Pierce, very wide. Opens the door for Jason McFadden to go back through to the second position of this race. But Pierce just doing a good job positioning his car where it needs to be to prevent that overtake from happening. Oh, a little bit of bumping and shoving down the back there as well. That's Alex McEwen. Matt Cotter in front of him with Lockie Grant. And here goes Clayton Pine just pulling out of the slipstream on Jason McFadden. He's looking for that spot up the inside. Jason McFadden leaving the door open. That's going to invite Clayton Pine up the inside, and he does so with a bit of a block pass, but he's gone wide, and this has bunched up this little gaggle of cars big time. Clayton Pine heads it off with Jason McFadden and Matt Cotter searching for a way through now. Looks up the inside of McFadden and says, oh, thank you very much. I'll have 2 for 1 if you don't mind. There goes Matt Cotter through to third position. There's Lockie Grant now looking up the outside of McFadden too. Geez, they're all just trying to take advantage. A little bit of a hip and shoulder there on the exit, but Alex McEwen ready to clean up any of these scraps that are about to fall off the table for these guys. Here goes Alex McEwen. What an absolute run out of the final turn. He'll be well in front of Jason McFadden when it comes to the braking zone. And look at this, Lockie Grant with a fair low wing. Look at the pace difference here from Lockie Grant. That is an absolute torpedo there in top gear. He gets a bit of a slide into turn 1. That's a track cut for Alex McEwen. He just got a slide in there. Jesus Christ. That ZB Commodore the VF Commodore of Lockie Grant there in front must be running a very low wing setup. Either that or maybe Alex McEwen on the converse side of that coin is running a very high aero package, because we did see in that final race, or the secondary race, sorry, what am I talking about? The first race. He was very slow on the straight compared to Daniel Cicluna behind him. Got info on the line here from the MBR garage. They're going to do about a 10-lap stint on the Supers and then head to the Super Soft. So Stephen Marsden is in an absolutely fantastic position. He's in an absolutely fantastic position now as he leads this race on a set of softs. He's got Brandon Pierce trying to make up some room, and he is, and expectedly so, on the Super Soft tyre. You'll see him just having a bit of a pace differential here until those tyres tend to find that equilibrium state after a few laps around here, where the tyres, the Super Softs start to drop off and the softs start to really come into their own, because they do last a lot longer than the Super Softs and probably a bit better for a longer stint on the race tyre. But here goes Brandon Pierce looking for the lead of the race now. They're side by side coming down into turn 1. Brandon Pierce, Stephen Marsden. Stephen Marsden just gives him plenty of room. He knows he's probably not in this battle to really challenge the lead of this race. He knows he's just got to run his own race on these softs and try and gap the rest of the field while the going is good. At the moment, he's not under too much pressure. He gets a fair bit sideways there, up over turn 4. It's a fun little turn, that. You do feel the rear end get really light underneath your hands, and do a bit of counter steer without even being able to see the exit. It's always good fun indeed. Alex McEwen and Lockie Grant, however, are swapping positions down the back. Looks like Alex McEwen has gotten past Lockie Grant. Brendan Schmuel has taken a drive-through already. I feel like there's going to be a fair few of those. Alex McEwen again going very deep on the exit of that turn. Just putting a little bit of a gap now onto Lockie Grant. Matt Cotter's made up a fair bit of ground as well. Down here they are tussling. That's Junior Ferguson and Andre Elliott. Who's behind them? That's another rounding out car of Cook and his Cluner. He's failed to make up the ground that his compatriot, or his old battling partner there, Alex McEwen, has. So he's just sliding up the inside of Cook there. Cook just trying to hold on to the back of him as well. Doesn't want to let him get too far in front, because he knows there's another car up ahead there, Junior Ferguson, who knows how to make these cars wide. And he certainly will. He's got, it doesn't matter that he's got 31 laps to go. The young man's going to make that Volvo as wide as a triple-decker bus. Or at least 2 double-decker buses parked next to each other. I'll give you the hot tip. He won't be letting Cicluna get through there with any kind of ease. We're right on board with Junior Ferguson, and look out the back door. If we can get a good view, there we go. So we can see Daniel Cicluna there with Fabian Fitness in tow, and Hayden Cook heading off these, or taking up the rear of these 3. We can see out the back window of Junior Ferguson's car. James Claypole and McFadden having a little battle here. Looks like Claypole's getting through, and he gets that position done. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, just having a sip of my H2O. Try and keep these vocal cords in good stead. Clayton Pine, however, is in pretty good stead because he is behind Stephen Marsden now, lining up for a little overtake down into, I think that's Samsung turn, or Portimao, should I say, turn 11. Doesn't get the choice of the cut here because Stephen Marsden says, no thank you, mate, I'll be shutting that door. You're going to have to find a better way to get through my Volvo. And it's going to have to be maybe around the outside down here at the final couple of turns, where the Supersoft will have the aid of better grip. As you can see on these cars, I think it's working. The yellow rims, as you can see, the yellow walls of these tyres indicate that it is the Supersoft tyre. And if we go to Stephen Marsden, they should be white. There we go. So we've got white tyres there, which are the soft, and then Clayton Pine on the Super. So a little bit of a visual representation there of which tyre compound these guys are using. Stephen Marsden just holding Clayton Pine at bay. There's nothing really that Clayton Pine can do better. He's just got to sit and wait and maybe put that pressure, put that blowtorch on to Stephen Marsden and just hope that a little mistake can happen in front of him. Dead set in the fair dinkum department. It's all happening. Here goes Clayton Pine now up the inside. Gives him a little bit of a tap. Stephen Marsden saw it coming and just did a little bit of an avoidance technique. And Alex McEwen taking full advantage of the wideness of Stephen Marsden on the exit. Just Clayton Pine just sort of punched a hole in the air in front, and he said, thank you very much, I'll have that as well. So Stephen Marsden just dropping down a couple positions now, but he won't be too discouraged with that, to be fair. He's had it all fairly good for him at the moment. He's sitting in the top 4 and he's still on the set of softs. So him and Alex McEwen are probably looking to go long in this stint. And if Stephen Marsden can just hang on to the back of Alex McEwen, he'll be absolutely loving life, and that'll pull him along in the race stakes. We'll go down the field and search for some battles down the order. Here's Andrew Ferguson, dropped it back down to 14th, so he's been shuffled down the order a plenty. He was right up there to start with, copying a little bit of a shunt there from Claypole, and that's put him at a real disadvantage here for the rest of the race. Scotty Garrick and McFadden now getting stuck into each other. McFadden just getting past Scotty Garrick for the moment as they round the final turn and head on to lap 7. It's the 7th time around, ladies and gents. It's all happening. Here goes Scotty Garrick, just pulls out of the slipstream, shoves it down the inside. Thank you very much. What a move. But here's McFadden. He says, no, you're not going to get away with it that easily. And McFadden retakes that position with a bit of ease. But here comes Garrick looking around the outside, and we've seen before, it's not really that an opportune place to, you can't really go around the outside at that turn 4. But what you can do is get the cut back, the switchback, and get on the inside line here for the hairpin. And that's how you get the job done, ladies and gents. You just slide it up the inside and say, thank you very much, Mr. Rangiard. I'll be taking that position off you. Catch me if you can. See you later. And the Volvos are off and are racing down the track. Matt Cotter's up ahead of them just by a second and a half. Just under a second. A second and a half, should I say. Oh, goodness me. Look down at Big Adams. Excuse me. Getting a little bit tired, but in the com box, that's no excuse. It's too much action here. Big Adams in the 385. Oh, there goes Adam Betts spinning out of that turn on his own accord. Not a great start. Adam Betts was off pole, or should have been off pole. He was off pole. He got a terrible start. I remember that. So he's had a shocker. As Adam Betts, you see him dropping down the positions there into 20th. Now, not under any attack at all. So he's got some work to do. I'll tell you what, does Adam Betts. He wants to get back into this race. Andrew Ferguson's got fitness in his sights. He's going to sit in the slipstream here. He's going to get that suck up the main straight. He's going to pull out. It's right on board with Virgo. Look, he's got the overlap now. Fitness trying to squeeze it. These guys mean business. There's going to be no love lost here, I think, between these two guys in the battling departments. We're going to see if they keep it respectful. I hope they do. Here goes Ferguson. Whoa, geez. An absolute cigarette paper between them here. Will he look for a little bit of a dive down here into turn 4? He does. He switches onto the dirty side of the track, gets on the brakes. Just a little bit of an overlap here, ladies and gents. There's not going to be any contact. That's great racing here from these two, giving each other plenty of space. And that's how you do it. We're going to go on top here. Oh, there's a little bit of a bump there from the guys, but that's all right. It's play on so far. Fitness going wide. Ferguson shooting up the inside. Oh, that's good racing here. Oh, boy. Look at that. That's not very good there from the guys. Bumping door handles there. But there goes Andrew Ferguson up into 11th position. Fair bit of paint swapped on those two cars for now. Here comes Fitness again. Right up behind the back of Alex Ferguson, Sir Alex Ferguson. Gee whiz, how many times are going to call him that? My goodness. Fabian Fitness is the man in pursuit of Sir Alex Ferguson. Oh my God. Can talk shit, can talk rubbish. So oftentimes I don't even know I'm doing it, ladies and gents. So if you catch me doing it, I often catch myself. It's like a third-person view. I go, oh my God, are you actually speaking these words coming out of your face? Never know. But here's Clayton Pine. He's made his way up behind Alex McEwen, actually. Either that or Alex McEwen's just made his way past him. Either or, there's about a 4/10 gap between them. And they'll be looking to... I think at this stage of the race, you probably don't want to be doing too much battling. I think if there's a faster car approaching and or up ahead or behind, you probably just want to maybe sidestep them, run your own race for now. In these longer format races, the less time you spend battling, the better. You may think at the time, oh look, if I can just hang on to, let's say, third place, for example, we might be able to hold on to the rest of the lap. But oftentimes that does just hurt you in the rest of the race. There's a safety car out on track, ladies and gentlemen. We've had the safety car being called here on lap 9 of 36. See what happened to that. I did see a couple of it was one of the tradie car entries there off the track and not moving, so perhaps that was the reason for the safety car call. If anything, this is going to bunch the field up again, and we're going to go racing with some tight pack. We're going to see a fair few people pulling into the pits too, I think. I think everyone who started on Supers is now going to pull into the pits. Yeah, absolutely, we see. Let's see if we can just get a little snapshot of the pit lane and who is in it. Certainly Clayton Pine is. You see his car there. Matt Cotter pulling in. That's Lockie Grant. That's Bill Kosmarikis there in the pit lane as well. That's Alex McEwen. That's James Claypole in the pits. Everybody pulling into the pits now, and why not? What a perfect time to do so. Who's going to be the first one out? It looks like Stephen Marsden stayed out, so he will be in the lead of this race, and that is Alex McEwen or Nick Mello. Alex McEwen getting out of the pits pretty early. As you can see, the pit lane is busy here absolutely, pit lane is busy here for the first safety car of the night. You can see everyone jostling for position on the exit. The safety car is out on track. Lights are blazing, and Stephen Marsden is in the lead of this race. He's got Lockie Grant behind him. There's a lapped car of Reynolds just making his way past the safety car. He can now go full speed with Paul McKenzie as well and get that lap back. And they will join back up to the Snake once they have completed another lap. But Lockie Grant is in second. Alex McEwen in third. That's worked out great for him as they've all come in for softs. So poor old Stephen Marsden's hung out to dry because his softs are 10 laps old, and so are Lockie Grant's. So I'll tell you what, Alex McEwen, Brandon Pierce, both on brand new softs. Both on brand new softs, and that is going to be hard to stop. At least hold these guys out for as long as they can. I think they might have just missed a trick there. I'd be... if I was racing, I probably would have come in, if I was Stephen Marsden, just chuck a set of super softs on and keep that position there at the front. Maybe even try and create a little gap behind you. But he's obviously looking for at least lap 18. So I think they can get 18 laps out of a set of softs and a full tank of fuel. So you'll probably see him coming into pit on lap 18 to refill the car and perhaps another set of softs just to go all the way home and try and do a one-stop strategy. One-stop strategy, two-stop strategy, three-stop strategy. All are viable here. You can see cars losing it on the safety car. I mean, we're not at race pace, ladies and gents. We're getting around at about 100 k's an hour. So, I mean, who was that? It's full throttle racing. Losing it under his own steam on the safety car. That's a new one for me. But here we go, Stephen Marsden getting the weave happening there on the main straight. Is that Nick Mello getting a pass by? So Nick Mello now on the lead lap. Stephen Marsden just keeping some heat in those tyres. Everyone else just opting not to weave and wind down the straight. It's Rick Zack in 11th position. That's great racing from him to be there. In one of the lonely Nissans, as you can see the colour-coded down there on the side for ease. The only other Nissan that I can see is Caleb O'Connor down there in 20th position. Check in with Cooper Nathan. That was the car that spun around just before. So he's managed to get himself back on the track. And maybe only half throttle from here. Let's not get too close to that car in front. It's all happening here, ladies and gents. We've got 25 laps to go. The field is bunched up. And when we go racing, which I've got a feeling is going to be soon, maybe after this lap, we might see the safety car just gapping the field soon and leaving this field to Stephen Marsden. Actually, here's another car coming to unlap himself. It's Waters. So what they try and do here, ladies and gentlemen, is get all the cars that are at least one lap down to gain back one of the laps that they have lost over the first 11 laps of this race. Not any F1 silly business where they only let through the guys between the two championship protagonists. Because tell you what, there's some corrupt organisations in the world, but we're certainly not one of them. And I'm not saying that the FIA is, but I'm also not saying that they're not. So, anyone in the chat keen to say hi? I think this is the final lap. Here we go. That is the safety car off and racing. So we are just about ready for a start. And it looks like Lockie Grant is right up under the rear wing. Oh, but look, he's caught him napping. There goes Stephen Marsden early on the last turn, and he's absolutely gapped Lockie Grant now that we are racing again. Big gaps in between all these guys. The only one here who's really battling is Scotty Garrick, who's on the back of Jason McFadden. He'll try and just slide this up down the inside, and he does so. Here goes Matt Cotter on the outside, or the inside of Daniel Cicluna. Pushes him out to the side of the track. Thank you very much. He says that's probably, I don't think Daniel Cicluna would be too happy about that, but there's a little bit of a Constantina effect as the rest of the cars come through, and we'll see how they fare through turn 4. We're going to see a couple of cars going too wide there, another couple of cars going too wide there. That's Ferguson. There's another 2x2. That's the Marshall brothers. I think both of them getting stuck in. Oh, there's someone just got turned around. Oh, I don't know who that was. I can see the car up there. We might even try and zoom in. Can we get there in time? Probably not. There we go. Scotty Garrick up the inside, looking at Matt Cotter. There's not much doing for him at the moment, but Stephen Marsden has just gapped the field here. He's got about 6/10, but just behind him he's got Lockie Grant, who's under all sorts of pressure from Alex McEwen. And he, in turn, is now under pressure from Pierce. So there's a nice little three-way battle here. We're going to ride on board with Pierce because he's got the absolute prime view of this battle up ahead. Just pulls out of it there. That's great awareness from Pierce, knowing that McEwen was about to chop the nose off. Didn't hang around uninvited either. So he just getting out of that, but he's now left himself a little bit of a gap in front. So now here's McEwen. And look at the pace difference here. He's certainly running a high downforce package as Alex McEwen. We'll see him pull aside Lockie Grant, but I know Lockie Grant's probably running a bit of low downforce, as you can see in the later stages of this lap, of this straight, should I say. Lockie Grant does have the advantage of the overspeed. So differing strategies here in the setup department, as I think, Alex McEwen is running a fair bit more wing than everybody else, which means he does have that planted rear, especially for turns like this into turn 4, where it gets a little bit sketchy and a little bit light in the rear end. Matt Cotter, however, speaking of a bit sketchy in the rear end, here's the man who doesn't mind a bit of a sketchy rear end, whether it be in the sim or in real life. It's Matt Cotter. Here he comes. He's got about 4/10 there to Brandon Pierce in front. There's nothing quite doing there for him at the moment. Adam Elliott and Betts were trading position. Here's Adam Betts. He's got Elliott in his sights there for Angie Out Racing here in the old Oreo ZB. Look, there's the gates open now, and gets a very squarely on the exit, and that's not going to be enough to get the overtake done. He's actually lost about 6/10 in that one turn. Thank you very much. Really got to be smooth on the exit of these things. Ferguson and Cook. Oh, there goes Cooper Nathan, it was. We just caught the end of it. He was absolutely sideways across the track, and he will live to fight another day, but will drop down a fair few positions. Shawnee Mitchell now with the Meals on Wheels and his brand new Falcon. He's there. He's got Bink Adams behind. He's got Ian. Oh, look at this. The two boost cars just having a good old crack. That's Ryan Nielsen up the inside. Holy moly, look out. He's coming. He says, I'm coming around the outside whether you like it or not, Mr. Mitchell. Mitchell's just done enough to hold him out, actually, for now. That's great racing. But I think Ryan Nielsen's a lap down, because here's Jason McFadden, who's the next car on track officially in 25th. So he's like a few more car lengths down the order. Harley Marshall and Rick Banachek. Oh no, Banachek just got collected on the way through there. Just lost it on his own accord, and was collected, I think, by one of the Volvos who just probably didn't see him there, and encountered him at a rate of knots that was not expected. So Fast House Racing, a bit of disappointment there. But he's back on track, and he is looks like the car's generally straight, so he will be able to live to fight another day for now. At least live to fight another lap. So we come down into the braking zone of turn 5. You see all these cars come spreading through. There's, oh, look, another bit of contact there between Banachek and Nielsen. It's interesting because Nielsen is actually a lapped car, but he's well within his rights if he's got the pace to unlap himself. So there's no harm, no foul there. He's just got to make sure that when he gets it done, he keeps it done. So I think that's what he's just trying to do. What he's trying to do there. Ian O'Brien now sneaking up behind Rick Banachek. Looks like Daniel Cicluna's had a bit of a gutser there. He's gone down the order. Or is it just my timing tower? Probably just timing tower things. Here goes Scotty Garrick just hanging it fat around the outside. Trying to hang on, but he has to just yield and let Cicluna through up the final sector here, up the main straight. But they are nose to tail. Look at this. That's Cicluna. That's Garrick. Just pulling out of the slipstream now. That's Fitness and Claypole getting all sorts of stuck into each other as well. Here goes Claypole looking up the inside. There goes Garrick as well. Garrick will get the job done. Pushes Cicluna wide again. I'll tell you what, Cicluna's had it a couple of times now, just been pushed off the track there on the exit of turn 1. Not ideal for him, and he'll be getting a little bit sweaty under the collar because of all that. But here goes Fitness now, looking on the outside, and he gets a little bit of a bump for his troubles. These guys are going to go 3 wide. Please let it be done. Fitness looking to cover, but there he goes. That makes it 3 wide. Claypole up the inside, looking for a 2 for 1. Gets the job done, tries to get the power down as much as he can. It's not going to happen for him. Fitness hanging it fat around the outside now, looking for the braking zone of turn 7. There's really not much between these two. Look at the momentum on the outside of the Falcon. These two Falcons, should I say. James Claypole just needs just turned in a bit too much there, knowing there was a car on the inside. It was probably you could probably have that move again. He'd probably do things differently. There goes Lockie Grant off the track. Grant's Kamagutsa. He's lost about 5 positions now. That's a hell of a mistake there from Lockie Grant, and he will absolutely rue the day that he did that. That's bad stuff. But look at this. Battle for seconds on. Marsden and Pierce battling it out for position 2. Both on the soft tyre, mind you. Matt Cotter watching it all happen from about 1.5 seconds behind. But Brandon Pierce has just pushed his way up into the lead of this race. Sorry, not the lead of this race. Second position of this race. Alex McEwen's in the lead of this race. That's what I was thinking. We didn't actually catch when he did that, but he's buggered off down the street now. He's 4 seconds clear of these two, is Alex McEwen. So shut the gate without another safety car. I don't know if anyone's going to catch him. He's certainly in the mood tonight. Let's look down the field. Let's find a little battle here. It's Sean Mitchell on the back of Jesse Marshall here, going into turn 1. Mitchell pulling out of the slipstream, getting on the brakes. Who gets on last? It's Mitchell. Just slides up the inside, easy as you like there. That's a great move from Sean Mitchell. Getting a little bit squirrely in between 1 and 2. Gets it turned in nicely. Just misses the apex by a little bit, but that's not too bad because you can hold the momentum for turn 4 and this blind uphill left-hander. One of the few uncertain things in sim racing. Cotter and Garrick just trading positions as well as Matt Cotter goes up into position 4, I think. Rick Banachek having some more trouble down the pack now. Oh no, he's just stopped on the track, just waiting for the cars to get out of the way. That's the right thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. If you do come a gutser, it's the best to just wait. You don't want to get in trouble for a dodgy rejoin, and he's done it perfectly there as Rick Banachek. Here's Caleb O'Connor and Junior Ferguson battling it out. Nissan and the Volvo. It's a beautiful livery, that car sales. Red and yellow and black. Red? No, I said black, white and yellow, should I say. A soft spot for that livery. It was actually the first livery that I ever used in a league race in V8 Supercars. That was for the... Geez, it was season 6, maybe? Season 4? It's a long time ago. It was 2019. First came to race here at AK Racing. Scotty Garrick has not left the rear wing of Matt Cotter for the last half of the lap. Tell you what, he's giving him all sorts of a hurry up here. Matt Cotter just leaving the door open there as well. thinking it's best to stick to the race line, and he's gone wide. He's gone a bit deep. That leaves the door open there for Scotty Garrick. Now they're going to go side by side through turn 6 and 7. Who will be the last one on the brakes? And I'll tell you what, the inside run here is very advantageous through turn 7. So there goes Matt Cotter back up into third position. This is a battle for the final position on the podium, mind you. Brandon Pierce, I tell you what, where did Marsden must have come in and made another pit stop. So he's one of the first to maybe fill up to the end, I'd say, Stephen Marsden. He's rip-roaring. He just needs a bit of clear air, which he does. He's got Ian O'Brien behind. He's got Nick Mello in front by about 2 seconds. So keep an eye on him as the night progresses, because the strategy call from Stephen Marsden has been soft to soft and a one-stop strategy. Now the two FGX Falcons of Cicluna and Fitness are now getting stuck in. I do have one eye on Mello watch. He's down there in 15th position. He's on the super soft tyre, so he'll be making up positions left, right and centre. Don't you worry about that. Excuse me. Not much doing here between these two. It's just holding station here as Daniel Cicluna just tries to figure out how Fabian Fitness goes about his racing. That's a very late move there from Cicluna. Caught Fitness napping a little bit there into turn 3 and took him by surprise. Takes it around the outside, trailer park girl style, and gets himself up into the top 5. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Down here we've got some people jumping into the pits. That's Nick Mello. It looks like Cook as well. Or is it Mitchell, should I say? Mitchell, the other Meals on Wheels teammate. So Mello probably going for a 3-stop strategy here on the super softs, and I guess hoping for another safety car to come out and slingshot him up the order a little bit, or just compress this field so he can make multiple overtakes at any one time. Brandon Schmerl, in the meantime, has been the silent assassin. I haven't called his name all night. He's just been picking off positions left, right and centre here. He's down in 16th position. He's got O'Brien in front of him. There is Cooper Nathan on the outside. That is, he's not on the lead lap, so he's just doing the right thing there, getting out of the way. But yeah, Brandon Schmel, great drive from him in the 329 Volvo. It's Volvo versus Mercedes here, back in 15th and 16th position. Very different V8 supercars, but very nice in tow. But for both, I'll give you the hot tip. I don't mind the Volvo. I don't mind the Mercedes. It just does not quite have the pace to keep on the back of Ian O'Brien at the moment. So we'll just keep one eye on that battle and see if it starts to heat up. Like this one that's heating up now. Look at him just backing it in. Scotty Garrick. Gee whiz, just getting the rears, all locked up there down into turn 4. Turn 5. The Torre VIP turn, that's what they call it. They come up over the hill here for turn 7 and 8 being Samsung corner. Or Simsung, we're going to call it tonight, here at Sensational TV. My name is Chris Munro. I'm your commentator for this evening. As you can see, Zach O'Reilly still out on holidays in Bali, enjoying freshly picked fruit and all sorts of good stuff there. He deserves the holiday, so he'll be back for the next broadcast, I'm pretty sure, on Wednesday. We're looking forward to that. This battle's starting to heat up now because look just who is arriving on the scene back there. It's Daniel Cicluna. Makes it a 3-manufacturer party now. We've got Holden, we've got Volvo, and we've got Ford all joining the party here. This is the battle for third position, should I say, the final spot on the podium. Matt Cotter doing a good job holding them out. I think he's just a bit underdone in the practice department as well. As you can see, Jesse Marshall getting a drive-through for cutting. And that's a safety car, ladies and gents. Safety car is on track. Boards and flags, safety car. This is going to play right into the hands of young Nick Mello down there in 23rd spot. He's got his brand new set of Super Softs on, and he'll be ready to overtake pretty much everyone who's on a set of softs in front of him. Oh boy, watch out. This race has now just been blown wide open. Alex McEwen won't be too happy, but look, he is speeding down as fast as he can. I think you'll find he will come into the pits as well. We're gonna ride with him because he is making his way around to the pit lane. Something tells me 16 laps to go here in this race. He might just be able to strap on a new set of softs that'll get him to the end and refill that tank. We'll just see. We'll take some bets, ladies and gents. Does he come into the pits? You've got about 5 seconds to decide. I think he does, for sure. He's really pushing to the limit. Here he comes into the pit lane. It's what I would have done, so I don't blame him. He's a good racer. He's got a very good racing IQ, as Alex McEwen. He knows where to go. And Brandon Pierce is following him in. Who's the next man across? So Scotty Garrick stays out. So he is going to be the, well, not the leader, sorry. Here's your new race leader. There's Matt Cotter. Although it's inherited, he'll take it. Scotty Garrick up into second position. Daniel Cicluna also avoiding the pit lane. Look at this. McEwen comes out of the pits in 4th position with Pierce behind him. Andrew Ferguson making up a heap of positions there out of the pits too. He's going to be in 6th or 7th maybe by the time he gets moving again. Because Schmerl is the next one out on track, and he's come into the pits too. So there, this has turned out great for Andrew Ferguson. If he can get moving soon. And here he goes. He's out on track now. He might just slot into 8th position. I don't see anyone else coming there. That might be them. Or going to get across the control line. He does. So that's his position. Actually, that's a lap car anyway. So play on. As these guys will now pick up the leader. Tommy Bodycomb there getting a drive-through for cutting. Matt Cotter in the front of this race, where he is most comfortable. He had an absolutely cracking drive in the first round of this series. He was pretty good at Adelaide as well. Bring up the standings if it'll do it. No, that's the wrong one. So we won't be bringing up the standings. So you watch all these cars dip over the hill here. Matt Cotter giving the safety car a bit of a hurry up. He's on the comms going, hey, speed it up, Mr. Ford Raptor. I'm pretty sure that Ford Raptor's had a bit of work done to it under the bonnet as well. Because it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick in a straight line. It's pretty quick around the corners too. It's it doesn't look like it, ladies and gents, but there's plenty of downforce on that Raptor. And look at that. Matt Cotter's right up under the tray. Gee whiz. The safety car driver will be seeing that in his rearview mirror going, okay, now you just keep a little bit of a distance for me there, Champo. We'll see how we go. Boy, oh boy. But look at this. This is going to be a 15, probably a 14 lap sprint to the end. Very reminiscent of the first race in this evening. The 14 lap sprint to the end. Can Alex McEwen go that far? He's actually come out on Super Softs. So expect him to make short work of these guys in front. He might be predicting another stop here on the way to the finish line. I don't know. Personally, I'd probably I probably want to go with the softs and go all the way to the end. Well, maybe Alex is pretty comfortable in the fact that he has got more downforce on that VF Commodore, that he could probably get a ragged old set of supers to the end. It's a tough shout. It's a long way to go. Got Guy Duff in the chat saying that lag got the better of him. I don't know, mate. That's devastating news. Are you back in the server, or you've packed it up? We'll wait to hear his reply on that. Take a little sip of my water, ladies and gents, because things are going to start to heat up now. As you see, the closer we get to the finish line in these safety car restarts, usually the desperation levels start to go up as well on some of these drivers. They really leave it all out on the table. Tell you what, you'll have Alex McEwen coming through. You got Nick Mello back there on the next guy, well, the next guy who's on a set of supers. Everyone else seems to be going the soft route there in the top 10, at least. Yeah, he's packed it up. Guy Duff has said he's on to the Bathurst 4-hour, which there's good enough time to talk about it than any. The next round here is a wildcard round as well, ladies and gents. So, as I said, if you're not a regular driver in the series, you can take part for a wildcard entry into our Enduro series, or a one-off Enduro race there at Bathurst. It's a 4-hour long race with driver swaps. So you'll have your teammate there in the chat with you. And I think the rules are you'll have to swap drivers at least 3 times. So both drivers having to do 2 stints in that 4-hour window. We're going to have qualifying and the top 10 shootout happening on the Saturday before the race. So that night's going to be good. We'll have half an hour. Jeez, we're going to have half an hour of qualifying, followed by that will be the top 10 shootout. That will be on the 17th of August. And then the guys have got 24 hours to get their race setup sorted. I'll tell you what, it looks like we are green now, and Cotter is away and racing. And look at that, he's gapped Scotty Garrick behind him, but Daniel Cicluna was quick on the uptake, and so was Alex McEwen, actually. All 3 of these guys were pretty quick on the button. Here goes Daniel Cicluna up the inside of Scott Garrick. Gets that job done. Oh, no, he's just taken out Cotter. Well, I've just witnessed a murder here, and Cotter will be absolutely seeing red with that move. It was never on there from Cicluna. Geez, he's come from an absolute mile back, and I'll tell you what, Scotty Garrick will say, oh, geez, that's unfortunate for you, mate, but look, I'm in the lead of this race, and I'm not giving it up without a fight. But he's not. I'll tell you what, there's not going to be too much he can do here with Alex McEwen with a brand new set of super softs. Just slides up the inside as easy as you like, and he was now the new race leader is Alex McEwen, and he is looking pretty cherry ripe for this event tonight. I'll tell you what, he's been quick throughout this entire evening. Scotty Garrick holding on as best he can in second position. Matt Cotter, I can see the smoke coming out of the driver's cockpit. These ears will be absolutely ablaze with smoke coming out of him. He was not going to be happy with that move from Cicluna. Gee whiz. But Cicluna's managed to redress it, or just come out behind Cotter anyway. And Pierce going wide there as well. A bit of the man with the allergies to the apexes tonight is Brandon Pierce. And look at the big slide there from Cotter. Really driving in an angry fashion, I think. And look at the grip there from Pierce. He's really sticking it up the rear wing here of Matt Cotter. We'll see how long Cotter can hold on here. He looks a little bit frazzled there from the move a lap ago. He just needs to get his head down now and forget about all that nonsense and see if he can regroup and start to go forward. But there's a bit of an overlap now with Pierce. Pierce has got the advantage of a better run down the straight. Look at the straight line pace here. Going into the turn one, Brandon Pierce better of it. Pushes back Cotter a little bit wide. Friendly but respectful. There you go. And look at this, a little bit of door handle bumping as well into turn 3, and there goes Brandon Pierce up into the podium positions. That's great driving from him, Matt Cotter. I think just needs to calm himself down. We've seen how good he can drive in the past. So I think once things settle down in the back of his mind, things will go better for him. But look back here. Look who it is. Nick Mello, the man who has started at the very back of the pack tonight. Holy. And he's made his way up all the way to 6th and make that 5th. As he goes up the inside of Daniel Cicluna, he's got the aid of the better gripping tyres. So he wants to try and make up as many positions as he can. 3 wide around that turn and goes around the outside, cops a little bit of a nudge. Oh, Matt Cotter straightened him up. Cicluna straightened him up again. What an absolute gaggle of cars are going off there. Cicluna trying to get off the track. I don't know what he was doing there, but letting Nick Mello back through. Oh, what a mess. Poor old Cotter getting... oh, no, he's been turned around again by, I think that's Fitness. Fitness pulling it up. That should be a bit of a redress there happening. I think he is trying to slow down there from Nick Mello. Mello getting a little bit hot under the collar as well here. What action is happening? Oh, I'll tell you what, this is what happens. The closer these safety cars come to the finishing line of this race, the more desperation come along with it. Oh, whew, take a break, take a rest. Cohen Tam. Now, he's got Dean Hanley in his sights. Both of these guys have had a pretty lonely race. Poor old Cohen Tam might be a little bit undercooked as well. We saw how good he went last time out. But now he's found himself down in 17th position. Make that 16th position. But Hanley's not going to let this go without a fight as well. Both of these guys give each other room, maybe too much room there for Cohen Tam, because Dean Hanley's just stuck it around the outside with that momentum and takes the position back off the number 68. Alan Nielsen giving him a bit of a hurry up with Pink Adams and O'Connor there as well. Here goes Ryan Nielsen sliding it down the inside. Oh, it comes a little bit of a bump there from Cohen Tam, but that's all right. It's play on. And look at this gaggle of cars. It's an angry little mob. We're going to ride on board Banachek because he has got the best view of the house. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars all going at it, hammer and tong. There goes Nielsen. He's lost it on the outside there. He's managed to gather it up. Cohen Tam going slowly, and Rick Banachek says, I'll take that position. Thank you very much. Claypole's back there as well. Something's happened to him for him to be that far down the order. Bink Adams and Ryan Nelson, though, in the meantime, Alan Nielsen. The funeral director, as my co-commentator calls him. Getting right stuck in. Here goes James Claypole. Oh, look, both of those guys went for that same little gap that opened up. Oh, no, James Claypole, very hot under the collar. Needs to just calm himself down, young man, and you'll live to fight another day. Harley Marshall, tough day at the office here for the Marshall brothers. Yeah, as you took the words right out of my mouth, Ronald. Literally, that popped up on my screen the second I said it. So, tough day at the office here for MBR, but they will be back again for the Bathurst 4-hour next weekend, and hopefully, not next weekend, the weekend after, and hopefully they can claw up a shitload of points for the championship. Because next week it's all team points. Next race it's all team points, should I say? Oh, a little bit of smoke signals there from James Claypole. He's run a good race so far. He's just been, I think, just too far back after the traffic situation there in qualifying. It's hard to overcome that being far down in the starting grid. It's really hard to sort of maintain a constant charge through the field with this many cars on track. Oh, look at that! And you see, just little mistakes like that can creep in to your driving. Which is not ideal. Look at Claypole just taking the scenic route there across the grass. A Rengiat car sliding up the inside of the Nissan, but I think that might be. That's not a lap car. He's just wide, just enjoying the scenery there on the outside. Nick Mello and Matt Cotter, these two guys, no strangers to each other out on track. Nick Mello probably towards the end of life of these super softs now. It's been about 2 or 3 laps. The optimal grip is gone, but they still probably got plenty of advantage over the soft tyre still. Might see a bit later on in the race the softs start to overtake the super softs for a stint. There goes Andrew Ferguson's DNF. Had a disaster there for FUCM Racing. That's no good there. We might have to we'll find out after the race what happened to Andrew McFerguson. Why do I keep calling him that? Oh my God, it's Mac time. It's not Mac time, it's Ferguson time. But it's not Ferguson time either because he has just exited the server. Jason McFadden time though. He's up behind Daniel Cicluna. These two guys giving it a good old battle here. Tell you what, Cicluna's been a bit out of sorts in the back half of this race. He had a good start. Obviously got tangled up there with Cotter, and then had another tangle up with Mello. Not ideal for going forward in these races, but there's Marsden holding on to that set of super softs he's got. Lockie Grant dropping down the order. Just timing tower things as usual. But here's the battle here. This is for 8th position. Has he got much left to give on those set of super softs? Does Stephen Marsden? He's got Daniel Cicluna out there in front of him by about 4/10. Here goes Marsden just pulling it into the pits. Actually, he might be coming in now for another set of supers. Maybe to fix some damage as well. Not ideal for FUCM Racing, not having a great night tonight. Fabian Fitness has made his way up to 6th position, 7th position. There's a bit of server lag going on. It seems to have worked itself out. No one's died. Stephen Marsden dropping down the order. He's got so many cars to overtake, and I think with the timing of that last safety car too, I don't know if too many people have been coming in to another pit stop. Alex McEwen's almost in the territory where he can probably get a free one. He's 12 seconds, 13 seconds out in front of Brandon Pierce at the moment. Andre Elliott sitting in 3rd. It's fantastic racing from him. I assume he's got one more pit stop to take over this stint, unless he was had his finger on the button of the strategy department and knew that, geez, you know what, that last safety car, if you fill it right up, pop the softs on, you might be able to get all the way home. And I'll tell you what, if he can do that, that's a fantastic effort there from Andre Elliott, the number 37 Volvo for Rengiat Racing. Nick Mello on the recovery. Just out there in no man's land at the moment. I think those supers are starting to fall off. His last lap was a 1:47.3. It's about 2 seconds slower than his best. So you see those tyres are starting to fall off. You might even see him come into the pits, which he does. He'll pop another set of super softs on, and he'll be back out in maybe 12th or 13th, 14th position by the time that all flows through. Lockie Grant, however, is up behind Andre Elliott. Oh, just had a little bit of lap traffic there from, I think that's Ryan Nielsen. Yeah, bit of a mixed grid. Zacho in the comments there. It was a short-paced qualifying session, so it was really hard to get a banker down. So you see a lot of these guys started out of position for the first race, and then a little bit of carnage in the second race and a couple of safety cars, and that really throws the cat amongst the proverbials. So it's anyone's race here, but I mean, I'll tell you what, you'll be hard fought to go against this guy right now. He's just stretching the lead by about a second per lap now, really putting the blowtorch to the rest of the field as Alex McEwen. If he's got enough fuel on board, he might not even need to come into pit. He can just nurse those super softs to the end. Brandon Pierce on track for a podium finish here as well on the soft tyre. If he put enough fuel in on that last safety car, we don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out in the next 7 laps whether any of these guys in the top 3 need to pit again. So we saw Nick Mello just taking a pit stop. I think those super softs had enough, but now he's back out on a brand new set, and he's got a fair bit of work to do, I tell you what. But look, if anyone's going to do it, it's our multiple Wednesday Cup champion down here and the reigning champion here in V8 Supercars is Nick Mello. Very hard to keep behind you. I'll give you the hot tip there. It's the closest battle on track as well, him and Brandon Schmel. So we'll just ride along with these guys for the time being. See how long it takes Nick Mello to gather up this Volvo here on the harder compound in front. So there he goes, just a slingshot out of that final lap, final turn, should I say. Schmel just sidestepping, knows that Nick Mello is not in his race. Does the wise thing, actually. It's really smart racing. That's Matt Cotter coming out of the pits. That will certainly be his final pit stop. I wonder what they're thinking up there in front. Alex McEwen, possibly all these guys might need to come in for another pit stop because we did see Matt Cotter come in that last safety car period. So I assume he put enough fuel in, but maybe those tyres just not good enough to get to the end. Maybe a little bit dicey around this circuit. But as we've seen, Alex McEwen does have running a high downforce setup here. Just a little bit vulnerable on the straights, but gee whiz, around the rest of the circuit, absolutely cracking. Speaking of absolutely cracking, there's a nice little four-way battle here shaping up. We've got Cook with Cicluna, Waters and Marsden in front of them. The 2 Black Falcons are hard to spot. Actually, that's a Mustang. There's 2 Mustangs. There's 2 Monster Mustangs. 2 Monster Energy liveries. The black sort of Cam Waters style. The FGX and the Mustang. So you can get them confused. Good luck. Good luck to me. Cohen Tam just dropping behind Stephen Marsden. Marsden was leading this race, mind you, in the first stint. That's how much the complexity of this racetrack can change things from one stint to the next. There's a bit of an errant blue flag card there, just sort of getting in the way of everyone, but it looks like they've all got through unscathed. Yeah, Clayton Pine, actually it was I can't see him on the list there. Zach O'Reilly must be right down the order. It was Daniel Cicluna ended up pipping him in practice. Only just. Both of those guys in the low 142s. But as we've seen a lot this season, one lap pace doesn't really amount to much when it comes to race time, because there's so much more that goes into it. Into winning a race, you can't just chuck qualifying laps down every lap. You need to think about things like strategy. You need to think about things like when the safety car is going to be implemented, or how you're going to react when that safety car comes down. How you're going to react when you've got other cars around you. How you're going to react when you're coming into turn 1 and it's 4 wide. Are you going to stick it fat, try and hold on, or are you just going to pull out? Just get off the throttle and let the 3 guys go, and hopefully live to fight another lap. All these things that go through a sim racer's brain, or at least should do, to really get yourself propelled forward in a race situation. Maybe a lot of these things are overlooked as well by a lot of these guys who do practice alone. You get out there on the practice track and it's just you and the Delta. So the sort of natural thing is just to try and go as fast as you can, and that's fine because qualifying is a thing. But speaking of also things, here is James Claypole making his way up next to Adam Betts. Scotty Garrick's trying to stick it up the inside now as well of Betts. He's going to get that job done. There goes Claypole up into 5th position. Scotty Garrick joins him into 6th, and Adam Betts loses like 2 positions in 2 corners. That's unlucky for him. I think he'll be on the arse end of those soft tyres as well. Probably time for him to come into the pits with 4 laps to go, but he's probably just trying to hang on to them as he also would have filled up the tank at that last safety car period, which would have been enough to get him there. So maybe just really struggling on the tyres there for a bit of grip. But Scotty Garrick now looking for the exit and gets the power down really nicely. Now these two are going to go side by side up over turn 6 and 7, down into the sweeping right-hander of turn 7. Really hard to do. A little bit of a bumping, shoving there from Claypole and Scotty Garrick just having to go around the outside. Claypole using up every little bit of road on the exit, almost making contact as well. Scott Garrick just had to get out of the throttle there just to keep himself straight on the track. Up into Simsung, step into Simsung bloody turn here, and there goes Scott Garrick, just whammo, thank you very much. Takes that position off James Claypole, and Claypole will not be happy about that. He's been up against it this time around in this race. He's battled a fair bit of adversity around the traps. He's been caught up in a little bit of silly buggers there at the start. But here he comes. He finds himself in 6th position, and Scott Garrick has done a great job here, just not only getting that pass done, but really just consolidating the gap as well. That's out to 3 or 4 tenths as we speak. Actually, that's down to 5 tenths now. That's good driving there from Scott Garrick. He'll take that with both hands. Meanwhile, Alex McEwen is still out in front by 14.5 seconds. In turn is Brandon Pierce. Clear. He's in absolutely no man's land. He's got Andre Elliott about 12.5 seconds behind him as well. So the top 4 or 5 guys are really spread out here in the final stages of this race. And then there's a hell of a lot of guys down below who are out of position. That safety car really, really threw a cat amongst the pigeons. I'll tell you what, that really threw some strategies on their head, and those guys get stuck fair to their strategy. I think we're kind of getting left out to dry here at the moment. We're seeing a few guys having to do a little bit of a splash and dash towards the end of this race. It's not ideal. But the guys that really thought about the strategy, like McEwen and Pierce, Elliott, Fitness, Claypole, all getting great benefits and great track position now because of it. And I'm pretty sure they're all going to be going to the end. And there you go. Oh, there you go. Scotty McEwen says Clayton Pine was DNF in lap 9. I didn't catch that. But the bad luck continues for Clayton Pine. That's it. We saw Mr. Newing last year, spewing Newing. He was quick in quali and could just never quite put it together in the races. And he's just... he's been taken over. His job's been taken by Clayton Pine in the bad luck department. A little happening there for him. Poor old Hayden Cook's here doing doughies out on the grass. That's not good for him. He's going slow. He might have some damage as well. Down there in 18th position. Scotty Garrick and James Claypole, though, are back in getting stuck in mode. You can get a better camera angle. I'll tell you what, there's a few dodgy ones on this track. Here goes Scotty Garrick up the inside again of James Claypole. He's done that 2 laps in a row now, gents. But here goes Claypole just looking to hold on, and there's plenty of opportunities to overtake around this track. As I said earlier, there's just so many ways around this circuit. Multiple lines around multiple bends. Whoa, look, here goes Claypole up the inside now into turn 5. Whoa, just gets the switch back as well to Scotty Garrick. Got the power down as well and holds Claypole at bay for just another few turns. They come down through turn 7 now into the braking zone of turn 8. Claypole's looking to chuck it up the inside, but Scotty Garrick was onto him, just shutting that gate before he got too excited about it. 2 laps to go, ladies and gents, here in round 3 of the AK Racing V8 Supercars Australian Championship. Coming to you live here from Sensational TV. We've got 2 laps to go, and it's all kicking off here between these 2 guys. The top 4 are pretty much run and done. The battle here is for 5th. If you haven't yet done so, ladies and gentlemen, hit that little like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell if you're into that too. And you get all the good stuff happening here at Sensational TV. We were on the road to 400, but we've surpassed that tonight. And actually, we surpassed that on Wednesday night. So now we're on the road to 500. Who can be our 500th subscriber? Maybe it could be you. If you haven't already done so, please give us a little like and subscribe. It goes a long way towards bringing you the good content that you you know and love here at Sensational TV. Tell you what, we're going to ride on board with James Claypole because he's got a good view of how Scotty's just attacking and defending around this lap. This was the second last lap too, ladies and gents. So if Claypole wants to get an extra position on the timing tower, it's going to have to happen soon. Oh, goes down the outside. Very deep under brakes, looking to cut back in, but Scotty's aware of it. Just places his car in the absolute correct position there with just hangs James Claypole out to dry around the outside of that turn. There was nowhere else for him to go. Little half defensive move as well. You don't want to go full defensive here because on the exit, that's where it can happen. There's a long run down to the next braking zone, and you don't want to leave yourself too vulnerable for that because this is where the move can happen here into Samsung turn. Scott Garrett going so defensive, he was half off the track. Gee whiz, he's making this thing as wide as humanly possible at the moment. James Claypole just searching for a piece of track that doesn't have a bloody Volvo on it. And here he goes up the inside there at turn 13. That's a great move there. Can he get it stuck? Oh, geez, they're nose to tail now on this on the second last lap of this race. He's going to have the aid of the slipstream though. Is Scott Garrett down up to the start finish line? But look at the grip there from James Claypole, and now he's released. He really just wants to consolidate that pass and maybe gap that out to a couple more tenths by the end of this straight. Here's Nick Mello joining the fun as well. This is only going to help James Claypole. What a time to get that pass done now because Scott Garrett is going to be under pressure from the VF Commodore of Nick Mello behind, and that might just be enough to release James Claypole to attack the rest of this lap unimpeded by well, there we go, there goes Nick Mello there up the inside, and geez, I'll tell you what, Scott Garrett didn't really make too much of an answer for that, and probably because he knows if he can just stick to the back of Nick Mello, and if Mello can come up behind James Claypole, there might be just a little way through for Scott Garrett in the end here when there's a car off. That's one of the Marshall brothers, Jesse, I think, or Harley. Terrible luck continues for MBR Racing tonight. Geez, they're not having a good day in the office at all. But here he goes. Here goes Nick Mello looking up the inside, but Scott Garrett just not close enough to take advantage of all this happening in front of him. They might be just battling enough to bring him back into this race, but I'll tell you what, he really needs to get his skates on if he wants to be a part of this. Nick Mello looking around the outside there of Samsung corner. It's not going to happen this time. There's only a couple more turns for this all to happen. Alex McEwen, in the meantime, is so far in front. He has won the feature race of the evening. What a time to do it. Great racing there. Great driving there from Alex McEwen. As you can see, it's not orange. There you go. But there you go. That's our race 2 winner for this evening. We wait a long time for Brandon Pearce, whose first silver position there, number 2 of the evening. Great racing there from him. Andre Elliott, that's his first podium. I'm pretty sure that's his first podium in V8 Supercars since he joined. So that's fantastic racing from him. What a great strategy call as well, going long in that first sector and then really timing the safety car to perfection. Fabian Fitness up there in 4th position with James Claypole getting the job done over Nick Mello and Scott Garrett for 5, 6 and 7th. Excuse me. Matt Cotter having to settle for 8th after having a little bit of a bump there in the opening stanza of this race. Adam Betts in 9th. Good recovery drive from him. Stephen Marsden in 10th. Daniel Cicluna in 11th. Harley Marshall in 12th. Pretty good recovery from him, considering he was down past 20th for a fair bit of that race. Jason McFadden coming across the line in 13th, with Brandon Schmerl in 14th. Dean Hanley for Angiart Racing, the 55, is in 15th, with Junior Ferguson in 16th. Lockie Grant 17th. Clayton Waters in 18th. Good drive from him. Caleb O'Connor as well. Good drive from him. Bink Adams making another comeback as he was a bit further down the order. The Chef there in 21st, with Cohen Tam in 22nd. Ian O'Brien 23rd. Shawnee Mitchell in 24th. With Rick Zach in one of the lonely Nissans there in 25th. Ryan Nilsson, 26th. Jesse Marshall, 27th. Rick Banachek in 28th with Branton Cook in a white Falcon. We'll get that fixed up for next time. John O'Brien in 30th position with Chris Pinkney. Paul McKenzie. Poor old Andrew Ferguson. You're copping Champ Street, my friend. That was not one of your best drives, but I'm sure you'll improve for next time. Alan Nielsen there in 34th, 35th, and a whole bunch of DNFs there at the end. I think our driver of the day is going to have to be... We're going to give it to Andre Elliott, because that is his first podium here in AK Racing. We'll try and get a nice view of his car there. There we go. Andre Elliott for the Randy Guillard Racing Volvo. I'll tell you what, we're going to bring him into the post-race interview room in just a second. Just going to make sure it's all working. Just give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. So we got Alex McEwen. Let's drag him up. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to find them in this group chat of a million people. I'll drag Elliot up first because I found him. And who else have we got? We're looking for Alex McEwen as well. I can hear myself in the background. That's distracting, if anything.
Oh, that's probably me. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate. You're all right. Live on air here on Sensational TV, so we get everyone in for a post-race interview. I've just got to find the rest of the folks here. Brandon Pierce is surely somewhere. Here he is. People should know to come and join here. We have our top three finally in the interview room. We're going to start with the driver of the day, Andre Elliott. How does it feel, mate? This is your first podium in V8 Supercars.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I think it's the first podium for Rangiard as well. So, yeah, it was a bit of a tough race. I got caught out on that first safety car, but the second one kind of helped me out heaps, and then I just was hoping the guys in front were going to pit, which they did. So yeah, here we are. Yeah,
absolutely. You got to take the good fortune sometimes. That second safety car really helped you along in the positional stakes, and I think you probably came in and filled up the tank and popped on a set of softs, which really was a good strategy call in the end.
Yeah, just almost overfueled it actually, but yep, put softs on for the last stint. Which wasn't my original plan, but worked out in the end, and yeah, happy days.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to Rangiart for the first podium. So you're flying the flag for those guys. You have to tell the other crew to pull their socks up and get a few more podiums.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good stuff. Brandon Pierce, the second driver of the podium. How was that race? How'd you find it? There was a bit of rubbing and racing there happening at the start too.
Yeah, I don't know if that was server lag or just me pushing a little too hard.
Yeah, it looked pretty good on stream, but there was a few little bumps there coming from. It was hard to spot because it was just such a busy turn 1, 2, and 3. But you managed to get out the other side unscathed and put in some pretty good pace towards the end of the race as well.
Yeah, I think it really come down to strategy. Starting on that super soft, and then I was just on a tyre offset with most of the top 10. A bit worried when that second safety car come out, but the 4 guys in front of me were on used softs, so it was just wait it out and see if I can pass them. Yeah,
absolutely, and it did that. I think the top 5, top 6, the top 5 all took advantage of that second safety car, and that really changed the complexion of the race. We saw your teammate getting the arse end of it, but he managed to fight his way back to 5th, so it was a good result there for Monster Energy Racing.
Yeah, we ended up having server lag, and apparently I rear-ended him. He rear-ended me, so he fell back down to 20th, but it was a good climb back up 5th. So, and him getting podium on the first race, it's good bunch of points.
Yeah, great points haul for you guys, and maybe a bit of an in-depth debriefing over who rammed who there at the start of that race, but we'll let the team sort that out behind closed doors. But congrats on the second place podium, mate. It was a great drive.
Thank you.
And to our race winner, he was absolutely untouchable, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, he gets into these moods sometimes, ladies and gents. And I tell you what, he's won by about 15 seconds. Was it ever in doubt, Alex, or was it just business as usual for you at the front?
I tried to start on an alternate strategy to everybody else, I think. I noticed there were a lot of soft runners at the beginning, and we hit that first safety car, went over to the softs, and I thought, okay, maybe I can get something out of this. And then we had that second safety car, and I thought, oh shit, that's not going to work well for me. Because I then put on supers, but I think everybody else were on fresh softs, and we still had another 15 laps to go in the race. And so I was... the goal then was just to build a gap and try and mitigate the loss as that eventually start to build back pace on me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after that second safety car, you probably thought, oh, you've just built this massive lead and you have to give it all back. But once the lights went green, it was sort of, that was the end. You made the couple of passes easy and just tripled off into the sunset, as we've seen you do so many times.
Yeah, obviously I think that's best case scenario. I think that's how everybody would like it to happen.
Yeah.
So you just got to make the most of it when it does come your way.
Yeah, that's true. With racing, you get the good luck sometimes, and certainly the bad luck too. But you've managed to avoid all the bad luck tonight, and on a few occasions now. So maybe your competitors are probably starting to pray for a bit of bad luck to run the way of the car number 43 there at the front of the field.
What I will say is, though, I think it's worth giving props to Nick for, showed up pretty last minute.
Yeah.
Starting from the back of the grid, and as you say, like bad luck, I think he copped a fair run of it tonight, and to finish sixth as he did was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, he was on an absolute charge there at the end on the super softs, passing left, right, and centre, and getting a bit of bumping and shoving too from a few competitors. I think it was a three wide moment where all three went off, but I'll have to watch the replay back on that one. But yeah, another great points haul, really, from Project 4, considering even Nick Mello missing the first race. But yeah, coming home with the goods clutch there for the race 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can be pretty happy with that one.
Absolutely, that's good stuff, and congrats on the win and maintaining the championship lead now. It might be pretty formidable once we get the updates there for the standings. But
hopefully,
yeah, I think it will be. But heading into Bathurst, anything can happen. As we've been talking about it all night. The highly anticipated Bathurst 4 Hour, ladies and gentlemen, is coming up in 2 weeks' time. So anyone at home watching that fancies yourself in a V8 supercar around Australia's most famous circuit, excuse me for the belch there, come and join the server. The link is in the description below for the Discord link. Get yourself a teammate. Even if you don't have a teammate, join the Discord and make it be known that you're looking for a partner in crime, and I'm sure we can team you up with someone, as we are open to wildcard entries. At the moment, we've got a little over 20 cars already signed up and ready to go, so it's going to be a pretty good field here for the Bathurst 4 Hour in the next couple of weeks. So be sure to stick around for that. Next time around here on Sensational TV will be on Wednesday night, when we come to you live from Wednesday Cup. It'll be a Mid-Ohio, which is an absolutely cracking circuit there in the US of A, and we're back again with the Renault Clios. So that is going to be action-packed, as usually is there for the midweek madness that we call Wednesday Cup. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to head back to the studio now. That standings is not up to scratch. So yeah, we will see you all next week, or this week, sorry, on Wednesday for the next serving of Sensational TV. My name is Chris Munro. My partner in crime, Zach O'Reilly, is probably just finishing off his 43rd bintang of the evening. So say good day to him if you see him there in the airport the next few days when he makes his way home. But thank you all, viewers, for watching. If you liked what you see, give us a like and subscribe. If you really like what you see and have a few bucks to spare to throw at a couple of racing tragics, do so. There's a little link in the description below to get to our Patreon. And all donations are well thank you'd for, well appreciated is what I'm trying to say. But that's about enough for me. That's about enough for everyone here at Sensational TV. Hope you all have a cracking rest of the weekend, and we will see you all on Wednesday night. Signing off.